is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
TST returns May 27th through June 1st at Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary. Non-stop soccer with $3 million on the line. Plus a fan festival with food, entertainment, meet and greets. Get tickets at tst7v7.com.
Would you know what to do in a poison emergency? Would you know whom to call? Well, the answer is Poison Help. 1-800-222-1222. Poison Help is a 24/7 government hotline staffed by poison experts. It's free to call and available in over 100 languages. Every second counts in a poison emergency. Don't waste it wondering who to call. Save Poison Help in your phone today. 1-800-222-1222.
It's Bo time. We know there's a lot of breakfast sandwiches out there, but only Bojangles has the legendary Cajun Filet Biscuit. Shake things up with a boldly seasoned chicken breast on a fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit with bow rounds and your choice of drink. So when you're craving something bold, something different, something that takes breakfast to a whole new level, the Cajun Filet Biscuit is waiting for you, along with crispy bow rounds and a drink. Order in the app or at Bojangles today. It's Bo time.
It's Bo time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuits are served all day, every day. And with that biscuit, why not add Bo's Iced Coffee? That's right, Bo's Iced Coffee with sweet cream. Choose caramel or French vanilla. Bo's new Iced Coffee, a great way to sweeten your day. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener, like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV, but if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to you at a campsite play his acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at richielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. The morning rain tapering off across our area, and temperatures are falling. We'll drop down to around 60 this afternoon, and then to 48 overnight tonight with some gradual clearing. Friday looks nice and dry, 73 under partly cloudy skies.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 335 points to 49,575. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
He'll move it. 9 seconds left on the power play. Blake with it. Send it across. They score! A power play goal! And Nikolai Ehlers into the Philadelphia zone. Snap back. He scores! Oh, Seth Jarvis with a chance. Drifting in. Getting a shot free is Hall. Still loose. They score! They score! It's over! Carolina. Taylor Hall wins it in
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is a hockey night in Carolina, although the game will be played in Philadelphia. Canes Flyers tonight at 8. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. We're excited for it. I'm excited for it. Hopefully the Canes are excited for it. And with that, I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing. This is The Drive, and we start this show the same way we start them all, with something we call the Big Three at 3.
Number 1.
Today's Big 3 at 3 is brought to you by Maynard Service Company, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Check them out online, MaynardServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. Today's Big 3 at 3 will be a little different. We're going 3 keys to tonight's game. 3 keys for Game 3, if you will. Number 1 is, we're going to start it off, we're going to kick it off with what's been the spark, what's been the catalyst for the Carolina Hurricanes this postseason. I think it's key, and we shouldn't take it for granted, that the quote-unquote second line, the Stankoven line, stays hot. They've been playing really well, and they're getting love, as they should, because they're playing really well. But you don't want to take it for granted and just assume that, you know, there's 3 points minimum coming from that line every single game. Right? If we're going to give them credit for being the spark plugs and being the straw that stirs the drink and everything else, then it has to be key that they are that, right? It has to be one of the keys to the game because, quite frankly, there haven't been a lot of sparks. There's been good play. There's been, like, the Ehlers goal, you could argue, was a spark, but the Ehlers goal in the Game 2. But for the most part, if that line isn't producing a spark, there really haven't been, right? There's been games where they score 2 goals, and that's all you get. And then everybody else does their job enough to get the win. But it should not be taken for granted that group is just going to give you, you know, elite top-line play. So it has to be, I think, the number 1 key that they continue doing it. There's a lot of keys it could have been. That's where I'm starting. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
Stay out of the box. Stay out of the box. And it's actually, this one's kind of a strange one because traditionally stay out of the box, and it is in this case, but it's also other things. Traditionally stay out of the box so you don't put the other team on the power play, and you obviously are terrified of giving up power play goals and all of that. Philly's power play this year was horrendous throughout the year. The Canes' penalty kill since the postseason, it's been very, very good. So they haven't been burnt on these little stretches, and they've had a few of them this postseason where they just, I don't know, decide that the bench looks comfy. Maybe there's a couch in there or something, and then they're just going to go hang out. Does someone put snacks in? I don't know. But the reason why you have to stay out of the box is that, right? Don't put the other team on the power play. Don't make yourself more vulnerable than you have to be. But also, let yourself get into a rhythm, right? The Game 2, 5-on-5, you couldn't find chemistry on the ice because as soon as there was a hint of motion, a hint of rhythm, a hint of groove, somebody was going to the box, and then obviously everything kind of slams to a halt, and everyone's watching the clock, and it's just a different vibe. So stay out of the box. Don't commit dumb penalties. Be disciplined and all of that. Maybe you're not even as worried about giving up goals, although you probably should be because of their power play versus your penalty kill. But you have to let yourself have a chance at finding some kind of a rhythm.
You know, it's interesting. We talked about last game in the third period. Rob Brindamore switched Jordan Martinook and Seth Jarvis. Well, the line of Jordan Staal, Jordan Martin, and Nikolai Ehlers only played 2 minutes and 45 seconds together at 5-on-5 last game. That's it, because of all the penalties and things like that, 4-on-4 and all that stuff. They only played 2 minutes and 45 seconds. The 3 of them on the ice together. That's it. That's it. I mean, heck, Sebastian Aho, Andrei Svechnikov, and Jordan Martinook actually have more time together at 4 minutes and 52 seconds.
And that's simply because of how many special teams were being played.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were times where, like a Staal just got off the ice and now you're shorthanded, and it was a really weird whole pattern of the day, simply because of the 8 penalties, 7 power plays that you gave to Philly. And that's not like you have to bake in. There was one particular, we keep saying Svetch with the 3 penalties. There was one that wasn't necessarily a bad penalty. It was a really good looking scoring opportunity for them. And he kind of hooked just to take away that opportunity. Like, you got to bake in some of those. Like, throughout a game, you're not going to go many where you don't ever commit a penalty. But the thing is, if you limit yourself to just those kind of understandable ones or the bad calls, you can still catch a rhythm with the rest. It can't be that often. Or in the bunches like they were, where it's just like, well, that period we're going to have no rhythm because they're going to be in the box a whole bunch.
Yeah, quit flipping the puck over the glass, those kinds of things. Hey, make sure you know when you got to go on the ice. So we're not 6 men.
We're going to do first goal score predictions in the 4 o'clock hour. I want everybody to know that the joke has been made because I asked for first goal score predictions on Twitter. You can also send them to our YouTube live stream comments. Just jump in the live chat there. Who's going to score the first goal for the Canes, and in what period do you think they will score it? But I got a lot of jokes that were, shorthanded because of the delay of game or fresh out of the box after delay of game. The delay of game jokes are there, and quite frankly, Canes, you deserve to have to put up with them with how many you've tallied up here recently. So stay out of the box. That is key number 2. Number 3. There's a lot of guys. I don't want to say a lot. There's enough guys that we could put a bunch here for this particular point. Somebody has to get going, and you could say, Aho has to get going. Hasn't had a point in this series yet. You could say Svetch has to get going as far as converting some of his chances to goals. You could say Gostisbehere has to get going, and with him might go the first power play unit. I'm putting the number 3 key as Seth Jarvis has to get going because I think he's on the precipice, right? I think he's on the edge and he's teetering. Obviously, he had the goal in game 2. I think we've seen the Jarvis we expect more in flashes than we have consistently, right? There's a run, a move, a shift where you're like, there he is, but he hasn't been there as consistently as he's made us accustomed to. So with him kind of just right there on the edge of being a true difference maker, somebody that you can look back and say, yeah, I think we lose that game by a goal, but because what Seth did, you won it by 2. Like, because he's right on the precipice of that type of player, I think it's a key to get him going. I think how he starts will be important because you want to kind of capitalize on the end of that game and keep it rolling right into game 3 on the road. But I think Seth is a guy that can really turn the game. I think Jarvie is a guy that can really tilt things in your favor in a really crucial, some might say pivotal, game 3, where you can take a commanding 3-0 lead. Your best players have to play like your best players. Your top guys have to play like top guys. And I think Seth is right on the edge. He's teetering on having a game that we all look at and say, there's your first star, there's your guy. Those are just 3 of the keys because it's the big 3 at 3 and it's game 3, and I liked all the synergy there. We could go further and further, and we will go further and further. If we wanted to just break down number 3, which was Seth Jarvis needs to get going into different guys, I think we can make a argument for a bunch. If your name's not Jackson Blake, Taylor Hall, Logan Stankoven, or Freddie Anderson, I think there's an argument that we could say, like, hey, you need to get going. Now, some of them let more than others, like, Keandre Miller, it feels unfair. Like there's certain that would feel unfair, but
Slavin, keep doing your thing.
Yeah, for the most part, everybody could step it up a little bit, and that top line is going to get a lot of that attention because they're paid a lot. They are very, very good players, so we expect a lot out of them. But for me, Seth Jarvis, because I think he's closest to really putting it all together. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Again, you can hear that game right here on 99.9 The Fan tonight at 8. Adam Gold with Stormwatch at 7. And the only place you can hear Mike Maniscalco and Trip Tracy on the broadcast is here on 99.9 The Fan, as well as the 99.9 The Fan app. That was our Big 3 at 3, again presented by Maynard Service Company. Check them out. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, all across the triangle. MaynorServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. Earlier today, there was some gigantic news in the flag football world. To discuss that, earlier this week, we caught up with Riley Fields, Director of Community Relations from the Carolina Panthers. That conversation is coming up next.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier factory authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Jungle Cashword Scratch-Offs and Digital Instance games are here.
2 ways to play.
Yeah. Play Scratch-Offs like you do.
Scratch it.
Play Digital Instance on your phone.
2 ways to win.
Right. 2 ways to find letters and complete words. 2 ways to win up to $150,000.
That's a lot of crackers.
Jungle Cashword from the North Carolina Education Lottery. 2 ways to play, 2 ways to win instantly. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.79 to 3.90. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%, and most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Welcome back into the drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Joining us on the Heaster Automotive Group hotline, Carolina Panthers Director of Community Relations. His name is Riley Fields. Riley, first of all, thank you very much for taking the time.
Tim, thanks for the opportunity to spend time. Looking forward to the conversation.
Of course, and the news of the day is it looks like we're going to have girls flag football be a high school sport, sanctioned, and all the powers that be have kind of knighted it as the next sport here in North Carolina. As the Carolina Panthers being the premier football entity in the state, what does that mean to you all over there in the facility?
Yeah, this is a major moment in time and something that we've really been working in earnest on really for the past 4.5 years. I think we've spent time every single day over the past 4.5 years to get to this moment. And in doing that, we've been able to establish some great partnerships across the state with school districts, helping lead the way, and certainly in the Raleigh area, what Wake County Public Schools has done, and their Director of Athletics, Darren Coe, David Hackney, and Durham Public Schools, and I'll even go even a little farther east with Josh Plisco, the Director of Athletics in Johnston County. They've been really foundational pieces of this effort in helping to create the groundswell of support for the sport. And so, where we stand today with girls high school flag football becoming an officially sanctioned varsity sport, we just look at this as transformational change and generational change, in that it's giving girls the access and opportunities to compete in the sport of flag football in ways that have never existed before. So it's a remarkable and exciting moment in time.
Well, as somebody just personally with a 5-year-old son that loves throwing the football around and a 1-year-old daughter that now I get to, look forward to saying, you can do this in high school as well.
Yes.
And getting her out there, I guess personally, I want to say thanks for the last 4.5 years of effort. I feel like flag football is having a moment right now on the girls' side. But 4.5 years ago, it probably was a little more difficult to see, the excitement and everything building in the way it has.
I think that's really interesting that you say that, because when we got into it, really that was our primary driver, our primary motivator was creating the access and opportunities, and we just needed partner schools to jump in and pilot it. And I think that what was universally clear as we've gone through this process over the past several years is that the girls want to play, and the energy around it is absolutely phenomenal. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced. And the bad analogy that I have, I've yet to come up with a better one, but just the fact is, if you've ever seen a dry Fraser fir Christmas tree catch on fire, that is the energy that is around girls high school flag football. It is just, it's incendiary and it's exciting.
Well, as somebody that knows their way around a bad analogy, that is not a bad analogy. That put the image right there in my head. The crackling, the smell. I was there.
Yeah.
Riley Fields, Carolina Panthers Director of Community Relations, joining us here to talk about the future of girls flag football as it becomes a sanctioned high school sport in the state of North Carolina. When it comes to the Panthers connection, right? I imagine you don't talk and work for every day for 4.5 years and then go perfect or over the finish line. What does the future look like? Are we talking academies, sponsored teams, leagues? Where do the Panthers fit in?
Yeah, I think, to this point, we've really focused on our efforts on building the game at the high school level, and over the past 4 years have put approximately $1.5 million into that effort, both grant funding for schools, equipment kits, uniforms, other resources to help schools build an infrastructure around it. And we're really excited that today the David and Nicole Tepper Foundation have announced an additional funding grant of $1 million to support the continued growth of girls flag, both in North and South Carolina. So, we're staying in this long term. This isn't, we get it across the finish line, then we're out. This is a forever commitment from the organization to support the sport. I think where it goes next, it's really interesting that you asked that. We've currently got there's 155 high schools that are currently that are in our system that are committed to play in 26 and 27. With the sanctioning vote, we expect that number to certainly increase. But where this is going in the immediate future is the development of the game at the collegiate level in our region. And our region has been a national leader in that, in which Conference Carolinas was the first Division II conference in the country to play varsity women's flag. They just finished up their conference championship in Durham a few weeks ago. And then just a few weeks ago, the Big South Conference became the first Division I collegiate conference to declare that they're going to be playing varsity women's flag beginning in spring of 28. So now what you're seeing happen at the collegiate level is the adoption of the sport, and that's creating additional pathways and opportunities for girls. So not just at the high school level, now there's a pathway for young women to be able to continue their education at the collegiate level. And so it's all moving very fast, and it's just such an exciting moment in time for young women.
I don't want to gloss over the highlight there. I'm going to repeat it, and you can confirm. The David and Nicole Tepper Foundation pledging that's $1 million. You said we're talking seven figures.
That's correct, and I think the support of David and Nicole Tepper really since jump has been a blessing for us, and has helped us really grow at the rate that we have. And, if you talk to Nicole Tepper, she will tell you if girls high school flag football would have been available to her, that's the sport she would have played. And so you look back, I look at all the girls that have been playing the past several years that have really set the table for where we are today as being the trailblazers in our region, and what that's going to mean for their younger sisters, and all the girls that are coming up behind them. They're going to know a future. It's just going to be normal to them that, of course, I'm going to be able to play flag football in high school and potentially in college. So the funding support from the David Nicole Tepper Foundation certainly is providing a robust opportunity for us to continue to help develop the game in our region.
Well, please pass along our thanks directly to them if you can, because nothing will get me in your corner more than supporting youth sports. So I'm going to be defending like draft picks and hires more feverishly than I have, because if you support the youth, and then I think that trickles right on up.
It's our privilege to do it. And again, I just want to give a shout out to all the schools in the Raleigh area that were early adopters. And one of the things that's been really cool about this process is that it's never been viewed as a intramural sport or club level sport. Everybody has treated it as a varsity sport from jump. And to see the schools, particularly in Wake County, how they develop their own social media programs around just the enthusiasm for the sport was really a catalyst to help us grow in the rest of the state. So it's been a team effort, a group effort, and that's been part of the fun of the journey is developing and creating new relationships and partnerships to get us to this point.
We're talking with Riley Fields here on The Drive. Carolina Panthers Director of Community Relations just informed us of a $1 million pledge from the David and Nicole Tepper Foundation towards girls flag football initiatives in our state and South Carolina as well. Riley, $1 million can go in a lot of different directions. I imagine that's a lot of flags and cones and things you could buy. What did they look to, hope that $1 million does?
Yeah, so I think that's where we work with the schools to determine, each school has different needs. And so we're going to have a formalized grant process to identify how funding can assist schools. And that's really how we're looking at this. We want the schools to tell us how they can best be supported through this grant funding. And so, flags, field equipment, all the things that when you start a new athletic program, what are the things that you need? And there's things that as schools get more sophisticated with their teams, their programs, they're going to have new needs. And so that's we're really excited to be able to fuel that growth.
Before we let you go, and like I said at the beginning, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us. Just because I know that girls flag and youth sports has as you brought up here in Wake County and the surrounding areas, a ton of support. Can they help if a listener wants to join in and join the movement? Is there a way they can tack on or lend their support or funds where they see fit?
Yeah, I think there are several options there. I think one, you can reach out to the school district to see how you can support directly, or if you are aligned with your alma mater or a specific high school, providing that direct support to the high school. I think the grassroots support, as you know, is such a vital piece of success for funding of high school sports. And so I would encourage anyone who has an interest in doing so, reach out locally to either your school district or a specific school to find out ways that you can support either through, financially, in kind, all the different ways that folks can volunteer to make a difference. But it's an exciting time, and just knowing that girls now are going to have the opportunity to play for state championships is just, again, I said it at the beginning of our conversation, it's a transformational moment in time for girls in our region.
Riley, we appreciate you for the time. We appreciate you for the time you've put in for this cause. And, hopefully we bump into each other at a Friday or Thursday night lights with the girls out there doing their thing at the high school level. We appreciate it.
Well, Tim, I appreciate you shining a light on it, and just grateful for all the support that the movement has received in the Raleigh area. It's been such a huge part of the success that we're all enjoying today.
Once again, that was, an unbelievable pledge from the David and Nicole Tepper Foundation, but we were talking with Riley
a lot of
Fields.
money.
$1 million.
Yeah.
I know he's got it, and still $1 million is $1 million. Or they've got it, I should say. That's awesome. And I wasn't joking there. Like, the easiest way to get me in your corner is to support youth sports, and it's been a long way, or a long road. It's going to be a long road to get girls flag football in the state where it should be. But North Carolina is officially the 21st state to sanction at the varsity high school level with state championships and the whole kit and caboodle girls flag football. I look forward to watching the sports development. And that interview will be posted everywhere. If you missed anything, you want to know more, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube is probably a good spot to check it, the 99.9 The Fan app as well. We have the Dean's List coming up. Hopefully soon we'll be able to throw girls flag football players from college onto the Dean's List. But before we can get to our more traditional Dean's List, here's Dennis Cox with some info.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here real quick. My friends over at Law Tigers. Look at the weather outside. I'm sure everyone's been outside at some point today, or at least looked out the window. And the weather kind of stinks today. Not a great day for riding a motorcycle. But it made me think as I was actually walking by my motorcycle this morning in order to get into the car to come into the station. I had to make sure. I was like, wait, when's the last time I actually checked my tires on my motorcycle? Well, at least I know I replaced the front one recently, but how's the back wheel looking? So I lifted up the cover on the motorcycle, checked the tires. I was like, okay, this is in pretty good shape. It's just one of those little subtle reminders to get to make sure you have a bike that's in proper working order. It's real easy to forget about how easily the tread just over time just wears down because you just can't visibly see it in the moment it happens. So make sure you have good working tires when you're out there on the road as a motorcycle rider, especially if you get stuck in wet conditions like this. You want to make sure that you have as best traction as you can with the road. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, make sure you contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you get in touch with the insurance company. Case evaluations are always free with Law Tigers. You don't pay a dime until your case settles. Even if you got in an accident, let's say a couple of months ago, and you feel like the insurance company isn't doing everything that they should be doing to fight for you, still get in touch with Law Tigers. Again, case evaluation with them is always free. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, gets to the Dean's List. And there is, I would say, some real good news, bad news in the Dean's List. Stick around.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Call 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou, a term provider, 800-511-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider, 800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-511-3535.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have to pace our energy today, everybody, because it is 3:33, and the Canes' Game 3 doesn't start until 8. Back in my playing days, I used to hate games that started 8 or later, because about 3 o'clock, you'd be ready to play, and, I mean, you wouldn't even have left for the stadium yet. Just be laying around in a hotel all day. Obviously, it's not as important that we kind of budget our energy correctly as it does for the players, but if you want to be able to be jumping around the living room, fist pumping and everything for a third-period goal, you're going to need to make sure you're leaving a little something in the reserves.
Get a little caffeine in you?
A little caffeine, maybe a slightly, or actually maybe go reverse. I was going to say maybe a slightly more relaxing like post-work day, but maybe you go hit the gym at like 6:30, get the pump in, get the lactic acid all riled up, the adrenaline, the dopamines, then you just coast for the rest of the night. You really got to know your body. You got to know your body, talk to your strength and conditioning coach, figure out what's best for you to be ready for an 8 o'clock game.
Actually, probably the way to do it is drink a little caffeine just before you do the workout, because when the caffeine actually kicks in, the workout's over. You're just building one thing on top of the other.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Plan for it is what I'm saying. It's postseason. Don't let it be amateur hour out there.
Can't hold anything back.
Last game of the season. Can't hold anything back. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. The Dean's List. That's what we do right about this time every single day here on The Drive. Let's get into it. All right, some real good news, bad news stuff happening here in the Dean's List.
Oh, we got people in detention?
Well, there's going to be winners and losers in all of this. I think most of us are losers here.
Okay.
But greedy college basketball decision makers are the winners.
Okay.
The D1 men's and women's basketball committees have officially voted to expand the NCAA tournament to 76 teams. We've been over it. I don't like it, but hey, you know, if you lose, you tip your cap to the winner, so they won. 76 teams. Stuart Mandel of Sports Illustrated, SI, said the NCAA's official release says the new format will generate an extra $131 million for the participating schools over the next 6 years. You want to know the real kicker here that I think is going to be universally hated?
What's that?
Matt Norlander of CBS Sports replied and said, "I'm told by sources a big reason for this number is the NCAA expanding the amount of commercials allowed during NCAA tournament games in order to manufacture more revenue."
Of course.
So they are adding more teams, more games. There's going to be triple headers in 2 locations, Tuesday, Wednesday, before Thursday's going on. It's gonna be more games, and each game we watch is going to have more commercials built within them.
Sound like WWE. If you know, you know.
It's just, I mean, I've never watched a college basketball game in my life and said, you know what I would like more? I need more. It's probably going to be like Charles Barkley, Spike Lee, and Sam Jackson in a car trip somewhere. Like, we see the commercials a million times already in March Madness. Are you putting more commercial time?
How much does a commercial slot cost?
Probably a lot. I don't know. I don't even know if I want to know, because then that's going to make me feel like they're even more greedy, because it's like, you know, you do the math on how many games, how many commercials, how much one costs. It's ridiculous.
I've always wanted to buy a Super Bowl commercial?
I've
had the money.
I
just
think that's like $10 million.
Just 30 seconds, just like, hey, folks, I have the money to spend, so here I am.
Well,
just
that's
all it is.
Ain't tricking if you got it. More Dean's List. Let's move on to something more fun. How about Wake Forest football? Wake Forest has secured a spot in a special kickoff to their 2027 football season in Canada. It will be Wake Forest and Syracuse. They will play a Week 0 game in Toronto to start the 2027 football season, per release. It will be either August 28th or 29th.
Okay.
It'll be shown on ABC or ESPN, and it will count as one of Wake's ACC home games.
Okay, because, they're playing Syracuse, so it's officially an ACC game. Okay.
In Toronto.
Interesting. Because Toronto is much closer to Syracuse than it is to Winston-Salem.
True. I imagine this is a branding thing. They feel like they need to get their name out there. ESPN or ABC guaranteed. And also, the ACC is playing more conference games now.
That they are.
So you might have one where you can experiment a little bit with things like this while still having your traditional 8-game ACC schedule. So, I like it. And I say it all the time. Players will remember the game in Canada. Would they, at the end of their career, if you're there 4 or 5, 7 years like they are now, looking back on your career, if you go, remember that game we played against Syracuse? Like, kind of. But if you say, remember that game we played in Canada? Yes, I know exactly. I messed up my assignment on 3rd and long. Whatever, right? It goes exactly to what you're doing. So shout out to Wake Forest for being creative. More Dean's List. Dennis, do you have any Dean's Listers you would like to throw out here?
I do, actually. Speaking of Winston-Salem men's golf, they're actually hosting.
You mean, okay. You mean Wake Forest.
I'm sorry, yes, Winston-Salem. Well, it could have been
it's the area.
State. No, but yes, I'm sorry. Speaking of Winston-Salem, out in Winston-Salem, the Winston-Salem Regional is going to be hosted by Wake Forest men's golf, which is, I think, actually gets underway this weekend. And NC State is actually, their men's golf team is going to be participating in that region as well. So Wake Forest is going to be hosting a regional out there. So that's on my Dean's List. I actually have another one as well.
Okay.
I mean, do I go detention for this one?
You need a ruling?
So Florida State and Georgia mutually agreed to cancel their home-and-home series for football for 2027 and 2028 because, like you mentioned, the ACC is going to 9 games, as is the SEC. Well, Florida State already plays Florida in a non-conference game. Georgia already plays Georgia Tech, so it's making things a little bit more difficult. But they did say they're exploring a neutral site possibility, Florida State and Georgia at least.
We're okay with this. At least I am. I'm okay with this. The way you framed it, I think, argued their points well. If they didn't have other premier non-conference like rivalry need to happen games, I'd be more mad. But it's not like they're, hey, we got to get all 6 of our guaranteed wins in. So they've got some meat on the bone already. So I think I'm okay with it.
And I think the reason for it is because they're also doing a neutral site. That way, each school doesn't sacrifice a home game.
Yeah,
type deal.
Turn it into more of a thing. I'm fine with that.
Hey, you know what? They could probably meet neutral site in Jacksonville.
There's a ton of places. That would be a big enough game that you.
I know that's where Florida and Georgia play. Usually, is
world's
in
biggest outside tailgate or outside cocktail party. I think that's what they call it. Outdoor cocktail party. Last Dean's List.
Duval.
There you go. Last Dean's List from me. ECU football as a landlord.
Oh, okay.
According to 247 Sports, Beast Games, Mr. Beast.
I've actually known of this for a while.
Which airs on Amazon Prime, is renting out Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. Currently, they're doing it now.
I have seen the setup.
And we'll be renting through midnight on June 4th.
Mm-hmm.
The agreement began officially back mid-April, so April 18th, which a lot, like as you're saying, a lot of people know, but we have the number. They're being paid $285K for use of the facility from Beast Games and the entity that is.
So I've done some play-by-play for women's lacrosse out there at ECU, and the last game that I did was their last home game back in April 21st, if I remember correctly, is when the game was. I'm sorry, April the 25th. April 25th is when it was. And they were setting up. There's a There's a massive stage that is out there on the field. It's like all LED stage, and it's in the middle of Dowdy-Ficklin. So they're going to do stuff out there. There was just a bunch of boxes and cases and trunks of stuff all over the place. I was like, dang, they're going full all in on this.
I think the first season of Beast Games, the winner won like $10 million. It's something crazy. So if that's happening in ECU's football stadium, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And also, I would have said the price is $300K, $285 if you make sure that ECU logos are present when you're filming, because Mr. Beast has a following. Mm-hmm. And he's from that area, right?
Yeah, he's from Greenville.
Yeah. So anyway, them as landlords make the Dean's List, because I think that's a cool little deal there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's dismiss the Dean's List. And let me tell you all about Miller Lending. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Speaking of landlords, maybe you're interested in buying a rental property. You want to buy something, you want to turn it into a business. Well, you might be looking for a mortgage. And if you are, call up Miller Lending. Miller Lending can offer a no closing cost loan, which means keep that check for closing costs right there in your pocket. Use it for upgrades to the house or home improvements if you need them. Right? Whenever I've moved into a house that we've purchased, there's always a list of the DIY that we have to get done right away. And if that's your case, put some of the closing costs into that. It's a really nice thing when you don't have to find all that cash for closing costs and fees and everything right at closing. And that's what Miller Lending wants you to know. That is an option for you. They've been doing it for decades here in the Triangle. No cost loans. They get you the best rate that they can based on the market, and then the magic happens. If you have questions about how, what does that open you up to? How does that impact refis? Go ahead and give them a call. 919-447-3377. By the way, it makes refis much more palatable because, again, no cost. 919-447-3377, or visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that is millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. When we come back, the Canes, Game 3. Tonight, second round, playoffs. Who are the two most important players for the Canes going into tonight? Stick around.
Flying out of RDU? You've already got a lot to think about if you're traveling. Let Fast Park and Relax take over the parking part of your trip. Fast Park and Relax is just minutes from the terminal. You simply pull into our easy access slot, park in one of our fully covered, well-lighted parking spaces, and one of our comfortable shuttles will pick you right up, load your luggage, and deliver you to your terminal. No walking, no waiting. That's why we're called Fast Park and Relax. We make airport parking easy. Check out our free parking offer at thefastpark.com.
It's bow time. We know there's a lot of breakfast sandwiches out there, but only Bojangles has the legendary Cajun Filet Biscuit. Shake things up with a boldly seasoned chicken breast on a fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit with bow rounds and your choice of drink. So when you're craving something bold, something different, something that takes breakfast to a whole new level, the Cajun Filet Biscuit is waiting for you, along with crispy bow rounds and a drink. Order in the app or at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuits are served all day, every day. And with that biscuit, why not add Bo's Iced Coffee? That's right, Bo's Iced Coffee with sweet cream. Choose caramel or French vanilla. Bo's new Iced Coffee, a great way to sweeten your day. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Life's great stories are built on yes and. Yes to the big game and the private suite. Yes to the beach and sailing offshore. Yes to traveling the country and exploring new ones. With the new Millionaire for Life from the North Carolina Education Lottery, you can say yes to $1 million now and every year for a lifetime. Millionaire for Life. Winning is just the beginning. Drawing 7 days a week. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.47. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Chance for Philadelphia, and massive hit delivered by Sean Walker on Tyson Forster. Just laid out Forster. He decleated him, as they would say.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Carolina Hurricanes, Game 3 against Philly tonight. They lead the series 2-0. Thus far, they have followed a nearly identical script to their first series in the first round against Ottawa. Shutout victory Game 1, overtime victory Game 2. If you're wondering what Game 3 looked like in the Ottawa series, it was a hard-fought 2-1 win. Yeah. Hard-fought 2-1 win. I would sign up for it right now in Game 3. From a betting/gambling perspective, Carolina on the money line on the road is -166, which makes Philly a +140 home dog. And if you're going to give the goals, it's a -1.5 on the puck line for Carolina, +160. So there you go. And yes, the most likely anytime goal scorer for the Carolina Hurricanes, according to the odds, at +220, Logan Stankoven, who has 6 of them through the first 6 games of their run thus far. And maybe that will put Logan Stankoven in the running for most important. We've been doing this for the postseason games. Dennis and I each highlight 2 players that we think are most important for the Carolina Hurricanes going into each game. And for Game 3 on the road against Philly, we're going to do the exact same. Dennis, why don't you lead us off? Who is the first of your 2 most important players?
I'm actually going to go with Alexander Nikishin. I think he draws back in tonight.
Interesting.
Based off morning skate, he skated alongside Shea Gostisbehere. Assuming he's going to play tonight, I'm going to say Alexander Nikishin because I think him being back on the second power play unit, because I think he's a little bit more of a, you know what, I'm going to get the puck and shoot it type mentality, which I think that's what makes that second power play unit so much more effective at times, is the fact that they kind of meat and potatoes it a little bit, which I think in the playoffs sometimes is actually a good thing. Hey, get puck, get a lane, shoot it. Get the puck, move it, move your feet, get a good lane, shoot it. It's a little bit meat and potatoes, and that's okay. So I think there's an added element to that as well. But I also think not being able to control matchups as easily on the road, having his physical defensive presence out there alongside Shane Gostisbehere, you can be comfortable rolling out your third defensive pair, even in a defensive situation, maybe it's like a defensive zone faceoff, and feel perfectly comfortable.
What does he do for Ghost? What does he do for Gostisbehere?
I think it just makes Ghost himself.
Okay.
That's really it. I think it makes Ghost himself. Those 2 are comfortable playing with each other.
Because I considered putting Gostisbehere in my 2 most important players because of not just what he does as a traditional blue liner, but also what he has on the power play.
Yeah.
So if Nikishin can unlock something about Gostisbehere or get him back in rhythm or whatever your partner does for you, I think that could be a huge impact of Nikishin as well.
As much as we have talked about the top guys need to get going, I'm going to throw Ghost into that mix. Now, granted, early on in the Ottawa series, it was him and Nikishin on the ice with the Stankoven line that generated a lot of scoring early, but he himself needs to be a little bit more effective on the power play as well.
My first of my 2 most important players, I considered Gostisbehere, didn't go that way. I'm putting Svech, Andrei Svechnikov. Got to get good Svech on the road. And he is somebody who I think has been doing a lot of good things, maybe not as many in Game 2 against Philly, but this postseason, I think he has been doing a lot of good things. It's just the other things aren't exactly flowing in, meaning goals, essentially. So I want good, disciplined Svech, but also perhaps, and this is where maybe I'm getting greedy, a little pesty. A little pesty Svech on the road in Philly, where you might be able to get Philly off their game a little bit, because he has that in his game when things are going well. He can rile you up a little bit and then go make plays that only Svech can make. So I'm putting Svech as one of my most important players. As I said earlier, we asked for 2 most important players. Dennis, who's your next up?
I'm going with his line mate, Seth Jarvis. Can you build off the goal that you had there in the third period? Can you build off of it? He had a great assist in Game 1 to Stankoven for Stankoven's second goal when it made it 3-0 back in Game 1 of this series. And then he got the goal that tied it up in the third period. Can Seth Jarvis continue to build off of these first 2 games? I think that's going to be crucial for them.
Yeah, I used him as one of my keys to so I'm diversifying my portfolio a bit. But I agree with everything you just said, because That's basically the same logic I used earlier on. My most important player, I'm putting Taylor Hall.
All right.
He's playing really well. And when he's doing that, it's obviously helped them a bunch, right? Like, I don't think it necessarily has to be when you're 6-0 in the postseason. I don't think it necessarily has to be someone who's not playing well. It's so important that they get going. It might be it's so important that the things that are working keep working. I think Taylor Hall is his renaissance or resurgent season where he's reminding a lot of people of what type of skill he has. I was surprised some of the GPS numbers being passed around. He's not like a big, slow old guy. He's got some burst to him. He still has some of those quicks that you'd think of for a younger Taylor Hall. So if he plays well, I think that transitions to Blake Stankoven play well, transitions to whatever blue liners are out there with him. And as you said, a little bit less control over the matchup. So they might be targeted a bit more because of. Actually, I could just read you the stats here. Walt Ruff put the stats out, but we've been talking about it for a while. In the 6 games played this postseason, Taylor Hall, Logan Stankoven, and Jackson Blake combined for 11 goals, 13 assists. That's obviously 24 points, and more impressively, plus 21. So keep doing that, I think, is really important.
That's good, right?
Yeah. Even if it's not that good, be 70% of that good, and you're going to really, really help your team out. So, pick whichever one you want to use to be a placeholder for that line. I think Taylor Hall is as good of a representative of that line as any, simply because he leads them in points. And he leads the Canes in points. So give me Taylor Hall as one of my most important. Those are our 2 most important. If you have some most important Canes that you think we're missing, you can go ahead and send them to us in our YouTube live stream comments, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Dennis, who are some honorable mentions? Who else did you consider?
I was thinking about a guy that you just mentioned, Andrei Svechnikov. And I want to ask you a question about Svech.
Yep.
Do you feel like once he gets 1, the floodgates will open? If he scores 1 tonight, don't be shocked if he scores 2.
Okay.
Like that kind of deal. It's like the top's lifted off, he's full on go.
I think definitely a possibility. Mm-hmm. But I think more likely how it'll manifest itself is he gets 1 today and then he goes on like a streak of 4 games with 1.
Yeah.
Because it's one, and it's not only that. It's once he scores a goal, like the next shift usually has like 2 hits. Like it's everything builds off. He's very much a momentum player where you start screaming at your TV, why don't you do that every time? And then he does it every time for like a game and a half. And it's like, that's the Svech. So, yes, I do very much think it's like a bubble about to burst. And it's the bubble. I fill up a lot of balloons, a lot of birthday parties for 5-year-olds and things. Mm-hmm. Like you get to that point where you're like, can this balloon get bigger? Mm-hmm. Like he's there now. Like it's full, and once it pops, it's gonna go. So I think you're exactly right, and it could be a streaky thing. Actually, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you think Ehlers has already popped the top, and he is entering because he scored the opener in Game 2?
Yeah.
Could we be on not even know it, but we're already in a hot streak for Nikolai Ehlers?
Yeah, like just scratching that. You know what? I wouldn't hate it. Because if he starts scoring, if that stall line starts scoring, good luck trying to stop this team.
This year,
for real,
he has very much been that. He'll go 8-10 games without a goal, then he'll have 4 in 3 games. He's very much been that this year, and I think that would go a long way towards ending this series quickly if you can get Nikolai Ehlers scoring a ton and some of these other guys don't cool off completely. So there you go. That's just some of the preview, just a little bit of the preview for Canes Game 3 tonight against Philly. They lead the series 2-0. And as everyone will say it, you know what they call a 3-0 lead. It's commanding. 3-0 lead.
It is commanding. By the way, I'm going to put this on record since I won't be on the show tomorrow. I'm going to put this on record. I think the Canes lose one of these 2 on the road.
You're going to be put it on the record. Specific?
What's that?
You're going to be any more specific? Are you calling for it tonight, Nell? Or are you just going to go one of 2?
I'm going to say 1 of 2. I'm going to lean towards they lose tonight. I think Philly gets that little bit of extra juice of we got to have it, playing at home. The fans are going to be excited because they know their Sixers stink. So they're going to get blown out by the Knicks. So you know what? They're going to put all their energy into tonight. And they're going to squeak out with a 1-goal win. And Canes will be like, oh, okay. All right, you guys want to play? Domination game 4, domination game 5.
All right, we'll see. It's on the record.
On the record.
Bookmark it.
Putting it out there right now.
3:56, May 7th, the day of Game 3. And before Game 3, which is always important on predictions. That is just a little Canes talk. When we come back, it'll be 4 o'clock, which is time for just a little football talk. Football at 4 coming up next.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier Factory Authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. A lot of people have work to do on their homes. They need a roof. They want windows, siding. You guys do everything. But people are also, I'm not sure I can afford it. The Aluminum Company is a great place to go. Tell us why.
Well, tons of times I'll go out to people's houses and they're thinking about doing a bunch of home improvements at once. Siding, roofing, windows are a big package, right? And the first thing they think of is, well, I'm going to need to go get an equity line or a second mortgage. One of the things we have is tons of financing options where you don't even need to go to your bank. We can do that in-house for you and run payment options for you. And lots of times the financing that we offer is a better percentage rating than you can get from your bank, and you don't have to go through all that mess to get to it.
I like that. Also, is there 12 months, zero interest?
12 months, zero interest, zero payments for 12 months.
Zero payments and zero interest at the same time for 12 months.
That is correct.
That is a double header right there. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online, aluminumcompany.com.
I'm attorney Brian Richie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at richielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Nice soaking rain starting to taper off now across our area, so we start to dry out and the evening commute looks mainly dry. Our temperatures are dropping though. It started in the upper 60s this morning and now we're down into the low 60s and we'll keep dropping through the 50s this evening. An overnight low of 48 and tomorrow's a nice day. Quiet weather, partly cloudy with a high of 73.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 304 points to 49,606.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I don't know when, but within the last, I'd say 5 years, NFL teams have gotten really cool about letting us see the inner workings of their draft process. It used to be you just heard a name on draft day and they'd have a press conference telling you how awesome that pick is and how it was their exact player that they wanted, and that's all you ever got. Now suddenly, like every draft room is rigged up like a reality television show. It's like the Real World. They got cameras from every angle. You hear every
Big
call.
Brother.
Exactly. One of those 24 hours a day reality shows. Every call. There were days back in, there were drafts back in the day. I remember this happened with Willis McGahee, the running back out of Miami that had blown his knee out. But his agent, Rosenhaus, was sitting across the table from him and called him So he would have to look at his phone, pick it up, and if he was on TV, other teams would think somebody was calling to try to draft him or try to talk to him. Nowadays, like it's not if he picks up his phone, they just switch on all like the boardrooms across the league and go, no team is calling him. We have eyes on Jerry Jones. We have eyes on Dan Morgan. It's not him. But I appreciate it, and it does give us insight into how each team operates. And there's an article on Panthers.com, so it's straight from the source. Darren Gant wrote it, all about the Carolina Panthers draft process and what they do on game day, what they do on draft day, I should say, not game day, all the way down to like Dan Morgan walked in after his traditional and routine 9 holes of golf on the first day of the draft, didn't play well until the last hole. Like they gave us every single detail. And with everything I just said, as much as things change, they still stay the same. Because the Panthers, even with giving us more access, they are pretty darn good at selling us that the best case scenario just happened, and the players they drafted, they don't even say like these were the players we were hoping to get. They lead with, we didn't think there was a chance that these 2 players would still be there when we drafted. I remember getting on a nearly word-for-word response to their 2nd and 3rd round picks last year. Nick Scorton and Princely Umanmielen. It was, we had done so many simulations, and in almost 0 of them were those guys available in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. We could not be more ecstatic. Well, let me read from part of this article from Panthers.com. As much time as they spent preparing, and as many times as they worked through the hundreds of possibilities of what might happen in front of them, it rarely worked out as well as it did with their first 2 picks, which they used on an offensive tackle, Monroe Freeling, and defensive tackle, Lee Hunter. To get those 2 guys, that was a scenario almost too good to be true, and one they weren't counting on. I don't believe it. I think it's a good sales pitch. I think they knew that those guys might be available. I don't know if they thought it was 100%, but I think that it was not like the most outlandish thing in the world, but it's more fun to say. This is so good, it's outlandish. So that will never change, right? No matter how much access they give us, they're still, as they should after a draft, they're still going to try to sell us on the idea that, there's not a single player out there they'd rather have than the players they drafted. The more interesting parts of this article, and it is a long one, I think apply to their vice president of analytics, Eric Eager's secret sauce, as they call it. That's their quote, not mine. They put together a proprietary draft simulation program known to Dan Morgan as the app, it's a mock drafter. It's a mock draft simulator. But apparently it's way better than all of those that are available to us online. It is a mock draft simulator put together by Eric Eager, who, by the way, I've interviewed Eric Eager back in the day. He was running, I think it was called Summer Sports, and he was making which was an analytics outside contractor for teams, and he was trying to get the word out at the Super Bowl one of the years I was there, and he and Thomas Dimitrov, the old Atlanta Falcons GM, were going around, and he came across extremely intelligent. I spoke to him for 15 minutes. I left going, that guy is on another level than I am. So he's the one putting all this together. And again, I'll go to the article because, as it states, quote, to make a really complicated thing too simple, Eager takes all of the data on every prospect and puts it into a model. Stats, testing times, physical profile, all the stuff scouts are collecting throughout the year. He's then pairing it with their evaluations and external factors as deemed appropriate. Stuff like certain media mock drafts, prospect rankings, and such all go in the pot. He then forms a system that the front office can use to participate in mock drafts at any time. This article, granted, state-owned propaganda, right? It's on Panthers.com, so they're not going to say anything negative. But the I don't know, most it's a long article. When I was done, if there was like one takeaway, it was these guys are a well-oiled machine of a front office, and they don't get rattled. Matter of fact, they stay recklessly calm during a draft, and they pointed a lot of that back towards this app, right? Because just like anything, the more reps you get, the more comfortable you are. The more practice you have, the better you are. It's why virtual reality is becoming a thing with real football, right? Where you can get your quarterback thousands of extra reps. That's going to make him more comfortable in games. So they have this app, and they're doing drafts constantly. They're inputting more and more information. They're throwing change-ups because Brant Tillis, Dan Morgan's right-hand man, keeps throwing in, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? So then on draft day, you're like, we've had all of these answers. We've done it all. There's nothing that can surprise us, so you just go through your, order of operations. Which leads to the little behind-the-scenes things that I think are cool. Things like the Lions picking a couple picks before them, needing an offensive tackle, and they're calling them up to see about trades, and Detroit's not really entertaining them, and they're just staying calm. And, like, those types of things only happen if you know what you're going to do if they do entertain a trade. You know what you're going to do if they don't entertain a trade. You know what you're going to do if they trade to someone else. You know what you're going to do in every situation, and it felt like that is how they operated. Enter Dan Morgan. Here's a quote from the article. I felt calm about it. This is about their draft and their opening pick. I felt calm about it because there were other guys that if he did get taken, I knew that we could turn the card in and feel really good about it. There was always a backup plan if that scenario happened, so from my seat, I was pretty calm about it. The enemy of nerves is preparedness, right? The enemy of nerves is being 100% confident that you are exceptionally prepared for every situation. And they found a way to, like, artificially get there. I imagine back in the day, to have this much, you'd have to find, like, the 32 smartest people in your facility. You'd have to get together and you'd say, all right, I'm going to be us. You're going to be the Broncos. You're going to be the Cardinals. And you'd have to do drafts where, like, they're making their decisions and they're changing things up and you're putting them in different situations. Now you just get one really, really smart analytics guy. You have him build you an app and you could be sitting around like, you're at home. It's the middle of the off season. Your wife is taking a shower before you guys go out to eat. You could knock out a couple mock drafts right there on your phone. And if there's ever a question like, what would we do in this situation? Write it down on work on Monday, get the crowd together and say, so I was doing a mock, and you'll never guess this. Both Mekhi Lemon and Dylan Thieneman were there, and Monroe Freeling. Now, we don't expect that to happen, but I was sitting around going, I don't know what would we do? Boom, you decide on Monroe Freeling. So then once the draft comes around, you go, hey, here's the scenario that popped up that I brought in that one time from. It's I think, a really good sign that the Panthers are led by, and I think this is true about the Carolina Hurricanes. I think this is true about really good front offices. They're led by somebody with a background that maybe isn't analytics, and you surround him with people that are really good at analytics. And you let them disagree, and you let them agree, and you let them figure it out, but you're not ignoring either side, right? Dan Morgan is a football player. Dan Morgan played linebacker. He prepares by watching film, right? He likes to look on the film and see a dog. And then he's got Brant Tillis, who seems to be a wizard of the salary cap and roster management and everything else. And you throw in this Eric Eager and his app of just pure numbers and equations and analytics. You mix it all up into a pot, and nothing's being excluded.
They balance each other out.
Exactly. And I think there are front offices in sports that get way too heavy in one direction or the other, right? Like there's some where, I don't care if he has short arms and he's slow, he's a football player. And then you get him in the NFL and you're like, he's kind of hindered by his short arms and his lack of speed. and there's also the other one going like, I don't care if he's never won a football game in his life. He's has first step in the 40 is unbelievable. And it's like, you know what? I think I want someone that's won a few games. I want somebody that's been punched in the mouth and responded to adversity. You need both. And I think the Panthers and Carolina Hurricanes and how they're set up right now are very, very similar. In Dan Morgan and Rod Brindamore, franchise legends, and then you mix in a Eric Tulsky and a Brant Tillis, or Eric Tulsky and an Eric Eager, where you have other front office people with true power that have a background in analytics and numbers and don't at least appear when you look at them to have ever played the sport. You get both sides of the coin, and if they agree on somebody, there's a good chance that player is going to be pretty good.
And I think as well, having a guy like Dan Morgan, the one thing that analytics can't figure out is the mental makeup of a player.
Yep.
Their competitiveness, their obviously their football IQ, those kinds of things, but also what kind of teammate and person that they are. Analytics can't tell you that, so you still need to have that balance of both.
I almost go back to when my wife and I were naming our kids. Like, neither of us could overrule the others. Like, I don't care that you don't like it. I love this name. We're going with it. But we did give each other full veto power, right? No matter how much you love it, if I want to veto it, it's out, like where it's out of the running, and vice versa. I feel like you need to give both of that, right? You come in with the perfect analytics prospect, like, oh, he's tall, he's fast, GPS times, the this, the that. It's perfect. If Rod Brindamore or Dan Morgan look him in the eye, they should be able to turn around and go, nope. Absolutely not. Veto, right? And same is true vice versa. If you come in and you're like, this is a football player, he lays his body on the line for his team, he get the speeches, it's all heart. He would fit in Braveheart. And the analytics look at him and go, nope, you should be able to veto, right? You can't overrule, but you can veto. And I think they have some of that going on. I thought it was a really good article. It's a long article, so make some time if you're going to read it. But I found it very interesting about how the Panthers handle their draft. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was football at 4. We have a Canes Cup check-in coming up in a little bit, cons, and much more to get you ready for Game 3, Canes Flyers tonight. But before any of that, here's our very own Dennis Cox.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here real quick. My friends over at Law Tigers, something I want to make sure that everyone out there on the road understands, and this goes for drivers too, not just motorcycle riders, is that 1 out of every 8, 1 out of every 9 drivers out there on the road, those drivers are either underinsured or uninsured. So if you're injured in an accident, if you are injured by somebody that is either underinsured or uninsured, you got to go to the hospital, there's medical bills and everything that come with that, well, then it's your policy that has to kick in to help cover those costs. So make sure, definitely as a motorcycle rider, that you have your insurance up to date. That way to make sure that you are covered if you are injured in an accident. That's why you got to go and make sure that your coverage is up to date. Do that, because you never know. In a moment, you might need it. Give them a call. If Law Tigers, if you are injured in an accident, make sure you do contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit them at lawtigers.com. With Law Tigers, your case evaluation is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. And Law Tigers attorneys, they're part of the motorcycle riding community. They understand what your bike is worth, what your gear is worth, but also they understand the dangers of the road. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will be back with a cup check-in. Stick around.
It's Hockey Night in Carolina Playoff Edition. It's Game 3 with Philadelphia.
Anderson got it clubbed to it. Still losing Frederick Anderson. Oh, what an athletic save.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck Drop at 8.
They score! They score! It's over! Carolina, Taylor Hall wins it in overtime!
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a data analyst.
Hey, what model did you use for these quarterly projections?
Astrology. If Mercury's in retrograde, sales tank. If Venus is rising, we crush Q4.
You built our revenue forecast off horoscopes?
Yeah, the Zodiac never lies.
This is your job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Join us at Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, our biggest trade event of the year, May 14th through the 17th. Trade in your RV and get the highest value guaranteed. Then upgrade for less with new RVs starting as low as $94 a month. Plus, take 25% off select maintenance services. Save up to 40% on camp-ready must-haves. And enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Red, White, and New Trade Event at your local Camping World, May 14th through the 17th. We'll see you there.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Carolina Hurricanes Game 3, second round, Stanley Cup playoffs against Philly tonight. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. If you are looking for a place to be amongst like-minded fanatics, Caniacs, if you will, Carolina Ale House is the official watch party location for all Canes playoff games. There will be a big old party taking place at the Cary location for games 3 and 4. That is tonight for game 3. Stormy will be there. The Storm Squad will be there. It's going to be a really fun atmosphere. And rumor on the street is, and it does come directly from their own social media, a couple of good old Canadian boys will be at the Cary Carolina Ale House location. That is do we call that like a moniker? What is that? Their band name? The group of Jarvis friends from Winnipeg.
Yeah, their faction.
Their group name is a couple of good old Canadian boys, but they're going to be there.
Jarvis buddies.
Jarvis buddies. They're having a heck of a time. When you're all sitting around in middle school and like we're all going to go to the NHL, and only one of you makes it, they're living life as if they all did. They're having a good old time. So they'll be at the Cary location. If you can't make it out to Cary, every Carolina Ale House will have the screens on the game. It'll be a great time, food, drink, the works. But Stormy, the Storm Squad, the good old Canadian boys, will all be at the Cary Carolina Ale House tonight. And Carolina Ale House is the official sponsor of the 99.9 The Fan Cup Check-In. Our Cup Check-In today is our very own Adam Gold checking in with David Pagnotta of the fourth period. So we'll give you some of that conversation right here, right now.
Carolina's going to need more, and I think Rod knows it. Everybody knows it. Going to need more from Aho, Svechnikov, and Jarvis if they want to make short work of Philadelphia. How have you seen this series so far?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, utilizing their strengths to their advantage. And my biggest question mark, and it's been my question mark with this team for the last few years, has been the goaltending in the playoffs. Freddie Anderson has given me zero to worry about in the first 6 games or whatever it is. 6 games in these playoffs. He has been fantastic. He has been playing, and we had him in here in Toronto. I know him well, even from when he was in Anaheim before the Leafs. This is the best hockey he's playing. He is dialed in as much as I've seen anybody right now. And you're looking at series MVPs in round 1, and people are pointing at a couple different guys. No, the spotlight's right on Freddie. Yeah. And he's maintained that. And when you're not necessarily playing your game, and like you were saying, and maybe it's off a little bit, and you still come away with the W, you have to look at how the heck you came away with the W, and that's that performance right there from Freddie Anderson. That's not going to work every game.
No.
So you've got to get, exactly to your point, you've got to get some of the offensive guys rolling here. Your top-tier guys have to be your top-tier guys. It doesn't have to be day in, day out in the playoffs because it's near impossible, but they need to certainly step up. The one thing a little bit to their advantage. Owen Tippett won't be playing tonight.
Right.
He hasn't played so far in this series. He was a big cog for them in round 1 against Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, it's a pretty decent injury that he's dealing with, and I don't know if we'll see how long, depending how long this series goes, him in this one. But he's not in tonight. It's a bit of a benefit, obviously, to not have to deal with that caliber player. But as they showed in the previous game, they've got other weapons that need to step up as well, that can step up. So I think this is a combination for the Hurricanes. Maintain your defensive awareness, your defensive abilities. Freddie's going to do his thing, but you still need to have Svetch and Aho and those guys roll in here. And as much as Blake and some of the other guys in Stankoven have contributed so far in these playoffs, you're still going to need to alleviate a little bit of pressure off them by contributing yourself and lighting the lamps yourself.
That is 99.9 The Fans Cup Check-In with David Pagnotta of the fourth period. And again, presented by Carolina Ale House. Every Ale House is a great spot to catch a game, a great spot to catch Canes playoff game. The Cary location is where the extra special party will be tonight for Game 3, including appearances expected. Word on the street is you can hang out with some of Jarvie's buddies.
By the way, no outdoor movie screen size thing tonight because,
Weather. Yeah, weather.
Hopefully Saturday. Saturday should be really nice. I'm actually by head there on Saturday.
Well, if Jarvis's buddy's there, Dennis is there, then what else can you ask for? Stormy's there. The Storm Squad is there. The game is on all the TVs. It's good time. I want to talk about something Pagnotta was talking about there because as he said it, it's we've all said it, right? The top line's got to get going, and Freddie's playing great, but you can't expect him to have a 958 save percentage forever and ever, right? Like it's going to get more difficult. I do think if you look at the best runs, right? Sure, there are certain teams in history that are just the absolute monsters and they just steamroll everybody. But if you're going to win a cup, right, and that's the ultimate goal, I do think there has to be some fortuitous timing where right as somebody who's on a heater starts cooling down, someone else gets on a heater and you kind of pick each other up. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that is what you look back on and go like, oh, thank goodness, right? There's a world where if they're able to achieve their ultimate goals, if they're able to win the Eastern Conference, if they're able to advance, you look back on it and go, man, Freddie really bailed them out. And then a couple games later, oh, look at the top line was bailing out Freddie. And then, oh, you look at this and the power play was bailing out the 5-on-5. And it all kind of works together. You need to have a little bit of fortuitous timing there. Now, there's certain things that you hope are going to be steady, right? Penalty kill, things like that you just depend on. But there's a lot of games in all playoffs for eventual champions where it's like, the Star had those 2 bad games. What are the chances that, a guy off the bench played outlandish in those 2 games to make up for it? And it's just like, wow, that's really, really seemingly lucky, but it's just what good teams do, right? When you need to be picked up, I got you. When I need to be picked up, you got me. And in the end, hopefully we're the last one standing. So, yeah, Freddie's been unreal. Certain aspects of the team have been unreal through 6 postseason games. If they start to be less unreal and somebody else suddenly gets a heater, that'll be A-okay with me. Right? You almost don't want everybody to be playing above their ability every game because then they all come crashing down at the same time. You got to stagger it, if that makes any sense. All right, let's take a quick detour from the hockey talk to, as we often do, play a game of cons and cons.
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about? That's the game. By the way, we do have first goal scorer predictions coming up in the not-too-distant future, so start thinking if you haven't done so already. But the game is what are you most confident? What are you most concerned about? The entries for today are the Triangle basketball teams. We're pretty much on the other side of the transfer portal. Still some things that need to shake, but you think the big dominoes have fallen. So let's look at the 3 teams in the Triangle. Dennis, what team do we start with?
Let's start with a team that has a new coach. Let's go ahead and start with NC State.
All right. As always, good news, bad news. You take the bad news first. We start with the concerns. I'll lead off. I'm concerned with post defense. They have Kyle Evans, who's led the nation in blocks last year at UC Irvine. But that can't be all you have for – I mean, if you look around the ACC, the good teams are loading up in post presence. And they don't have much of it right now. They have 6'10", Kyle Evans, and then a couple 6'8", 6'7s. But I think they just need bodies that can fight back against 6'11", 7-footers, because that's what you're going to be facing at the top of the ACC this year. Their perimeter is interesting. Their posts, I think, need some girth. They need some weight down there, some size. So that's what I'm concerned about. What about you, Dennis?
My concern is lack of height, length. That's really it, because, again, their tallest guy is at least projected right now that's going to play, at least get significant playing time. Like you mentioned, is Kyle Evans. I mean, after that, it's Yolaho.
Yep, Yolaho.
He was listed at 6'8". Again, so, I mean, it's bigger than what you had last year with Van Allen Lubin and a bunch of guys that were like 6'6". So there is a little bit more height there, but even their backcourt is a little bit on the smaller side as well. I know Christian Hammond's listed at 6'4", but Preston Edmead is 6'1". So again, it's just a lack of height and size. But we'll see how it all plays out this year. But it is a concern for them right now.
Confidence for NC State. I'll get it going. My confidence is Paul McNeil Jr. He's a big wing that can shoot the heck out of it. Every team needs those, but I'm, I think he's, to use like a movie term, I think he's ready for his close-up. Like, I think he's ready to be the guy on the poster of the movie. He's been spacing for other guys that were kind of the main dog. I'm interested to see what he does with more usage, more opportunities, and the fact that he recommitted back to NC State, I think, was a big get for Justin Gainey. So I'm confident in Paul McNeil Jr. And he's a North Carolina guy. He scored, 1 billion points in high school.
That he did. I'm going Paul McNeil for a different reason. So I'm going Paul McNeil. The fact that he has stuck it out through now to his third head coach
in 3 years.
In 3 years, the fact that he's stuck it out with it, I think is a great thing for Justin Gainey to build around, not only this season but next as well. It's like, hey, look, this school matters to you. This Justin Gainey saying this school matters to me as well. Like, I graduated from here. I want you to be a 40-year guy here unless the NBA comes calling, but I want you to be known as an NC State guy. I'm an NC State guy. I want you to be known as an NC State guy, not someone that came from somewhere else. I want you to be the guy that is the face of this program.
I do think vibes are higher, but I don't know if they could have gone down from where they were at the end of the Will Wade era, but vibes are definitely up. What team do we go to next?
Let's go again. Team that has a new head coach. Let's go to North Carolina.
We'll go to North Carolina. We start with concerns. Dennis, why don't you lead off this time?
My concern for them right now is it's my concern with Michael Malone is just the adaptation to the college game. That's really it. It's just there are some things on the court that are a little bit different that you don't have in the NBA. For example, if you can't call timeout and advance the ball to the front court, like little things like that. So but it's like little coaching things. Like there's some small stuff like that, longer shot clock, shorter games. I feel like he'll adapt to it, but it's, again, everything else that comes with college basketball. How quickly does Michael Malone adapt? That's my only question.
Mine is efficiency. Okay. I think they have they've added some really intriguing players that I think have high ceilings, but they don't really have any high percentage shooters or scorers on the roster. There's some volume shooters. Matt Abel, I think, has the ability to be a higher percentage guy, get to the bucket, make a bunch of shots. But Avdalas didn't shoot a great percentage. Brown didn't shoot a great percentage. Some of the guys they're bringing from Europe, you don't really know how that translates as much. I just, you can't as a team shoot 40%. You know what I mean? You got to be able to occasionally get the high leverage bucket. So I'm just a little worried about their efficiency offensively. You need that true shooting percentage to be a good one. What are you most confident in for Carolina?
I think my confidence for them is the fact that the guys that they're bringing in have a lot of experience. I think that's the thing for me. Is like Jaron Stevenson is a fourth-year guy. To me, Matt Abel's got good college experience as well. Terrence Brown, a lot of college experience. And then Avdalas, the guy they brought in from Virginia Tech. So you've got some guys that have collegiate experience already to go with the guys that are going to be coming in, like Maximo Adams or what's his name, the big game, Keita. I struggle saying his name. The big center,
Seyon Keita.
Seyon
Keita.
And
I've seen it. I've heard it pronounced multiple ways. We'll have to get an official ruling on that.
That we will. But so to me, having guys that have a collegiate experience that are coming in, I think is going to be a benefit for Malone as well.
Mine is their perimeter.
I got some dudes.
Dallas, Matt Abel, and Terrence Brown is fascinating. They can all pass. They can all score. They bring very unique skill sets compared to each other. I think there's a little usage overlap because they're all kind of combo guards, but none of them do it the same way. So it's going to be interesting how that all comes together. If Michael Malone can find a way to make them all coexist in the same ecosystem and get the best versions of them, I think it could be a really impressive backcourt. And then there's Duke. Let's just jump straight to the concerns. Dennis, why don't you go ahead and fire up your concerns for Duke?
Does John Blackwell go to the NBA?
There's that, which would shake him up a bit.
It really would.
Especially because he committed kind of early in the transfer portal, and it may have discouraged others that either wanted to show up or stay. My concern for Duke is maybe, this is going to sound ridiculous, but too many guys that are expecting big roles.
Yeah.
Does somebody get a little bent out of shape when they're not getting enough shots or enough playing time, or this isn't why I came here, this is why I came back? I don't know. It's nitpicky, but it happens. Confidence. What's your confidence?
They have a bunch of dudes on that roster.
Yep.
So if Blackwell goes to the NBA, they've got about 8 or 9 other guys that can sit there and be the dude for them. Their depth is crazy.
Yeah, I wrote depth, which is such a contradiction and hypocritical based on too many cooks being the concern. But 12 guys as of right now that I think could all go. Could all, if needed, be a pretty good ACC basketball player or above that. So it's... Again, we talked about it yesterday. Their budget has to be a bunch because the players look expensive.
I think what I also consider this as well for Duke is that collective experience together for guys that are returning, like Caleb Foster, Caden Boozer, Pat Gungba, all coming back, having experienced Dame Sarr, having experienced what they experienced last year together. There's a little bit of that continuity, which Duke hadn't had in the last couple of years, because last year was a bunch of freshmen. It's like, okay, yeah, Isaiah Evans came back, but he didn't play a whole lot in that Final Four run. And Malik Brown was a 6th man. And then Pat Gungwa played a little bit a year before, but they didn't have that starting experience in the NCAA tournament. Now they got that.
Whether it's experienced together or not, this is easily the most veteran team that John Shire has had.
Oh, yeah.
Either experience at Duke or elsewhere. That's a game of cons and cons. If you have ones to add, concerns or confidences for any of those teams, 99.9 The Fan YouTube, jump in the live chat on our live stream. We'd love to hear from you. Speaking of hearing from you, let's open up the phone lines for some first goal score prediction. Heaster Automotive Group Hotline, 919-860-5326. Call in now with who you think will score the first goal of the game for the Carolina Hurricanes tonight, Game 3 against Philly, and in what period you think that goal will be scored. Again, the phone number, 919-860-5326. Call in right now and we can hear you on air. Make your predictions. 919-860-5326. Who scores the first goal for the Canes, and in what period do they score it? While Dennis lines up some callers, I'll give you the 99.9 The Fan personalities predictions so you can compete against us, or you can tail us if you want to. Adam Gold from the Adam Gold Show, Stormwatch, you know who Adam is. Andrei Svechnikov in the first, on the power play, 8 minutes in. Real bounce back for Svech. Victoria is not going far from what's had a lot of success for her recently. Stankoven in the first, assist from Taylor Hall. Paul Ihander, the host of Next Up with Paul Ihander, weekday mornings, 9 to 10, says Jackson Blake in the first, and it is a 5-on-5 goal. And then Max Gorin, who produces Paul's show, but over the next few days and last few days, he's going to be producing all over the network. He has Taylor Hall in the first and says it's assisted by a defenseman. We'll get to Dennis and my predictions after we hear from some of you, starting with Ryan in Spivey's Corner. Ryan, welcome to the show. Happy to have you. Give us your first goal scorer prediction.
I'm gonna say Stankoven in the first.
Stankoven in the first. He is he's playing well. Do you have any other details you want to add? Is it a power play, 5-hole, anything you just want to toss in there?
Power play.
All right. Ryan, you are locked in. Good luck to you. I mean, Stanky in the first. That's been a good one recently.
That's fastball down the middle.
Fastball down the middle. Let's go to Matt in Durham. Matt in Durham, you are up next. Who scores the first goal for the Carolina Hurricanes and in what period?
We're going to go with Nikishin in the first on a power play.
All right. What makes you think Nikishin back off injury in the lineup and scores early?
He's going to be happy to be back. He's going to rough it up, and it's going to be a gritty game tonight. So I'm expecting more, power plays tonight.
All right. You're locked in with Nikishin in the first.
More power plays? Didn't we have enough in game 2?
14 wasn't enough for you?
Yeah.
Nikishin didn't get to experience it, though, so maybe he wants
That's
to be
true.
a part of it. We go next to Tim and Zeblin. Tim, great first name. Hopefully you have an equally as great first goal scorer prediction. What do you have for us?
I think you're going to appreciate this, as judging by your history. Sebastian Aho in the first.
I like it.
It's going to be quick. It's first 5 minutes. He's in there.
First 5 minutes. I hope you're right. I don't want to say I've regretted that I said I'm going to go with Aho in the first until I get it right, but it's been a long time since I've been able to get it right. So I hope you're right.
I think he's jealous that Jarvie got one last game, so he's going to get one.
I respect it. Little rivalry amongst the line. I like it. Tim, you are locked in. Aho in the first and in the first 5 minutes. And that brings us to our final caller, Malik in Raleigh. Malik, welcome to the show. Who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
I'm going Eric Robinson. The Flyers are going to have a turnover in their own zone, and we're going to capitalize.
All right. You should go in first period just to be.
Yes, first period. Sorry.
All right. You think Robinson is going to maybe atone for some of the opportunities he couldn't convert in game 2?
Yeah, he should have scored at least. He had 3 grade A's last year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Malik, I think that would be like karmic justice, and I hope you're right. So congratulations on a good pick, and you are locked in. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Fourth line scores tonight.
You're putting it on the books?
Yes, the fourth line scores tonight.
All right, well, I'll ask for more details of that when we get to making our picks at the end. They had their chances. Robinson had a ton of but Janky had some chances as well. They created some things. Dennis, who's your first goal scorer?
Jackson Blake in the first.
You and Paul riding a wave together.
Jackson Blake in the first.
That I feel like Jackson Blake in the first is the equivalent of like Canes win the series in 5, because you don't want to be so confident, so down the middle, but you don't want to be that far from it, right? Like I'm not picking a sweep. I'll pick in 5. I'm not picking Logan Stankoven, but I'm definitely picking someone from that line. It's like it's just a little off from what the chalky pick would be. Tim and Zeblin kind of revealed mine a little bit there. I'm going Aho in the first. Sebastian Aho in the first. First goal of the series for Aho. That's what I'm looking for. Need to get him going. That line. Need to get him going. And I'm not alone in this one. I asked this question on Twitter earlier for first goal scorer predictions, and I can tell you there are, just in the last minute, Dan, Aho, first period, power play, one-timer, glove side, bar down, game-winning goal. Hugh says Aho. There's a ton of Aho picks. 45 minutes ago, Todd says Aho on the power play. Kaniak says, I am manifesting an Aho goal because he really needs it. There's a ton of Aho predictions coming in here. Dennis, what does it look like on our YouTube live stream comments?
So Clay Allen, Aho in the first. So we have that.
Party wave. Everybody get on. The bandwagon's got plenty of seats. Aho in the first.
Eric says pulling for Svetch in the first period as well.
There's a lot of that also.
We also have Roddy says Seth Jarvis first period goal. We also have Co Simpson says Stahl in the first period. We also have Troll Cat says Seth Jarvis in the second period. Cole says Aho on a breakaway late in the first period as well. So we have a few different. Actually, we have another one here. This one comes from Jake Bergen. Sean Walker in the first.
You would find a way to work in the Sean Walker prediction.
Hey, I didn't make the prediction. Jake did.
No, I'm not.
And it's against his former team,
True. There's a lot of cross-pollination between the Flyers and the Canes. From Tulski, Rod, onto the players, there's a good amount. And they're in Philly, which do you think Rod's like, I got to go to a restaurant or something? Like, do you think there's spots that he knows that he's got to go frequent, some cheesesteak that, everybody has their favorite from Philly that he's got to go take care of? I don't know. Maybe. The drive with Tim, actually, let's be real. He's not eating cheesesteaks.
I see he's running up the stairs up to the Rocky statue.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, that was a miss by me. My bad. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This one is not a miss by me. You all need to go to Bailey's Fine Jewelry because their big sale is happening now. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, and it is the perfect time to shop. Mother's Day, again, I keep telling you, it's creeping up. Graduation gifts, creeping up with something for every style and budget. And here's the best part. Up to 60% off select fine jewelry. We're talking bracelets, necklaces, rings, the things that will put a gigantic smile on their face. If you're looking to get engaged, engagement rings and wedding bands are also on sale. Bailey's Fine Jewelry always has the best selection. Their display room, their main showroom is gigantic, and it's overwhelming at times because I just don't know what I'm looking at, but they have the experts that help me. They narrow it down. They can go for style, price range, all of it. It's the biggest sale of the year and the only opportunity to get a Bailey box at a discount. It's Bailey's big sale, and it's happening now at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. If you go to their Village District location in Raleigh, you should also swing by the watch shop, the Fox and Bailey watch shop. Take a gander at all the latest offerings there. That's the way I handle it. Just let them know you heard about it. When you go to Bailey's Fine Jewelry, let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. We're going to hear from many of you coming up next. It's a feedback frenzy. Don't go anywhere.
Move your sports day forward.
The Carolina Panthers continue their evolution now 3 years into this front office, and there's promise. What started year one as a refresh turned into a rebuild, and with the latest draft, we see reinforcement. The fifth-year option on Bryce Young, now icing. It's a different mantra from the let's develop dogs mentality. Now it seems, let the dogs hunt.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, this is Luke with Newcomb & Company. We're a residential, commercial, plumbing, HVAC company who's been serving the community for over 70 years. Honesty is the biggest policy around here. We take pride in everything we do, anything we touch. We're not one of those companies that come and throw it in and then you can't get a hold of them again. We're there with you hand in hand. Here at Newcomb & Company, what stands apart from other companies is we actually do more than just AC and heat pumps. We do boilers, geothermals, furnaces, radiant floor, anything that is odds and ends that nobody else can touch is what we thrive on. At Newcomb & Company, we do same-day service. That's also another thing that helps us stand apart from other places is we do same-day service because we have enough professionals to get out to these houses to solve what the problems are. And we're on 24/7 on emergency basis, weekends, nights, holidays, you name it, we're there.
Newcomb & Company, your Carrier factory authorized dealer. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Jungle Cashword Scratch-Offs and Digital Instance games are here.
2 ways to play.
Yeah. Play Scratch-Offs like you do.
Scratch it.
Play Digital Instance on your phone.
2 ways to win.
Right. 2 ways to find letters and complete words. 2 ways to win up to $150,000.
That's a lot of crackers.
Jungle Cashword from the North Carolina Education Lottery. 2 ways to play, 2 ways to win instantly. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.79 to 3.90. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
This is the sound of Claire, cooking dinner at home. And that's the sound of a fraud alert from Wells Fargo, flagging a charge for a pricey restaurant in Paris. Considering Claire isn't in Paris right now, that seemed odd. To the bank and to Claire. 2 taps later, Claire says nope to the charge, and Wells Fargo is on the case. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
We are 3 hours and 15 minutes away from puck drop. Game 3, Canes Flyers. Canes lead the series 2-0. Energy going up. Energy going to stay up. And this is going to be one of our high-energy segments because it is now time to head to the internet, see all your feedback to conversations we've been having here on the air, and bring it to light. Something we call a feedback frenzy.
All right, Tim. Yesterday we had a conversation about the Carolina Panthers and what's their strength on the team. You went offensive line.
Correct.
This one actually comes from Gordon Armstrong. Says the secondary on the defense is the strongest position group. Horn and Jackson are a shutdown pair. See what they did to the Rams wide receivers in 2 contests. Shaw Smith-Wade and Corey Thornton add nickel and depth as well.
It was in the running. It was one that I considered for strongest position on the team, meaning secondary. The issue I have is who's that other safety? Lathan Ransom in the mix. Obviously, Nick Scott in the mix. Less likely, but I guess possibility. 5th-round rookie Zakee Wheatley. If there were somebody stronger in that spot, I think it could easily be the strongest position on the team. But it's not. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, Puka Nacua had a pretty good day against the Panthers in the playoffs. Something like 110, 120 yards. Touchdown, something like that. They did well, but it's not like they completely shut him down. Is kind of what I'm getting at there. But yes, I think the corners are really, really good. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think the offensive line is better.
Someone actually did say, Steve-O said that corner specifically was the best group.
If we could do that, yes. Would you put them up against like guards specifically? Because if you're separating the secondary, I think you got to separate the offensive line.
Yeah.
So it's you just I don't want to get all the way down to like run stopping interior defensive line. Like it's you got to draw the line on dividing a position somewhere. So we just went secondary, O line, D line, that kind of deal, and I picked O line.
All right, we had a conversation yesterday about after the Carolina Hurricanes in game number 2 made a little switch with a couple of their forward lines. Question was, do they go back to what they've been running pretty much the last couple of months, 3 months of the season, and as well as the postseason? Or do they stick with the tweak that they made there in game 2? This one comes from the Lo-Fi Dreamer. I guess it's at a guess at this point on what the right move is, whether they switch or not, but being able to adapt in game 2 with the swap and the comeback was telling for our team.
I agree. And I think you give credit to the players, right, for taking the adjustment and doing it well. Also give credit, that's a coaching staff move, right? That they have not been as blendy as their reputation says this year. This year they have kind of established lines and let them build chemistry. So in a high-profile, high-intensity moment like that to, as a coaching staff, figure out, now's the time and have it actually be the time is a really good deal there. So credit to everybody involved, and keep in mind you might have to do it again, but don't rush to it, right? They didn't rush to it in game 2. It worked out fine. Don't rush to it either. Believe yourself a little bit.
So the consensus feels like stick to the lines. Like Kyle Hankins says, if it ain't broke, the lines are what they have been. The lines we have run this playoff have worked so far. Also, T. Nick says, go back to the original lines. Let's Go Kane says, leave the lines alone. Philadelphia is going to target the Aho line in any event. In Rod, we trust.
Well, I agree with In Rod We Trust. If they are targeting the Aho line, wouldn't that be, no disrespect to Jordan Martinook, I'd rather have Jarvis on a line that's not being targeted than Jordan Martinook. Maybe that's why it worked, right? You got Jarvis away from the line being targeted. Listen, there's a difference between this. This isn't like soccer where you only get 3 subs a half, right? Like, try it. right? Put it how you want it, and if it's obviously not working, or you obviously like the way the last game finished better than how it's going right now, yeah, you do that, right? You can go change again, change it back. I wouldn't recommend that, but you could. So I think they're handling it the right way. The strings they're pulling, the buttons they're pressing have been working as of late, so trust your instincts, Rod.
Also, this actually came after game number 2, where the Carolina Hurricanes won in overtime. This one comes from Stephen Coco. Stephen Coco says, if we get Aho and Svetch going like they can, we could definitely win it all. I can dream.
I mean, listen. You don't want to put the cart before the horse. You don't want to assume anything. I don't think it's like Fantasyland that the Canes could, of the teams you're looking at left, I don't think it's Fantasyland to say they have a chance to win the Cup. Now, if you're going to go around like guaranteeing things, then you're going to have to wear that if it doesn't happen. But yeah, if Aho and Svetch get going like we know they can, absolutely you can win a Cup with that team. They're easily the most experienced team in the postseason in the East. Experience goes a long way. Their talent is there. Their depth is there. There's, if not now, when is kind of the way I'm looking at it. No guarantees, but it's not crazy to let your mind wander there as a fan. Players, go 1-0 every day, right? One step at a time, one shift at a time, one goal at a time, all that stuff. But fans, it's not an inappropriate thing to let your mind wander.
All right, let's actually switch focus over to college sports here for this next comment. So yesterday we had a conversation about some comments that athletic director of North Carolina, Bubba Cunningham, said about the future of college sports, about revenue versus not revenue sports, Olympic sports, pay-for-play models, and different kinds of things, as well as basically summarizing, can you sustain the current financial model of sports? And this one comes from the Enlightened Schufer.
Okay.
The Enlightened Schufer says this: Bubba Cunningham illustrates talking out of both sides of your mouth perfectly. Saying, like, I guess, because along the lines of the comment of when Bubba Cunningham,
I know exactly what you're saying. Because he said that he sees a future for college sports where there's two, I forget what he called it, like a bifurcation.
Bifurcated, yeah.
Of one is where players get paid to play. That'd be most likely revenue sports. And one where players pay to play, most likely non-revenue sports. And then we played a clip later on where he said Olympic sports are invaluable to the university.
Yeah.
So it's going like, how are you saying they're invaluable to the university, but then saying players are going to have to pay and the university won't fund those teams for doing it? I see what the commenter's saying there. I think sports are important to a university. I think they fulfill part of their desire to have a well-rounded campus, pride, things to rally around, all of that. I think if you have to, you should dip into your university money to fund the teams that you want to have, rather than finding ways not to pay the revenue sport players so you have the money to take that and go give it to other sports. I don't think that's the way to do it.
All right, that's what we have for today.
That is a feedback frenzy. And that is also one of the ways that we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. And once you are subscribed, jump in the comments, right? Mix it up. If you have an opinion on what we're saying, voice it. Some might agree with you. Some might disagree with you. You might just hear your comment right here live on 99.9 The Fan. In addition to other, Monday sound-offs and a few other ways, first goal score predictions. We have a bunch of ways we try to involve you in the show. Feedback Frenzy is definitely one of them. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to the starting five, Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. These are the things that keep your house running, that keep your house comfortable, right? When you get home after a long day, You want to relax. You want to enjoy. You want to hang out with your family. Your house should be conducive to that. But if you go home and it's cold outside and you walk inside and it feels colder in there, that's not going to feel good. If you walk inside and there's a running faucet, there's water dripping somewhere you don't know where, the switches aren't working, the electricity keeps bugging out, that's not comfortable, right? That's not going to give you the relax and rejuvenation you need. Maynard Service Company can fix all of that. It's what they do. They're experts at it. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. Maynard Service Company, that's their bag. That's their thing. So give them a call if you have any issues. 919-361-0993. That is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all across the triangle. 919-361-0993. Or you can visit them online at MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. As I said, the starting five is coming up next, and we continue inching closer to Game 3 for the Canes. Stick around.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. Join me and my co-host Chris Lee from WREL TV as our podcast Panthers Playbook rolls on this offseason, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Carolina Panthers news as we break down the NFL draft, insights on free agents and prospects, plus all the inside information on the offseason. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
If you think you or someone close to you is having a stroke, we have two words for you. Be fast. B for balance, E for eyes, F is in face, A for arms, S for speech, T for time to call 911. Look for changes in balance, vision, or speech, weakness in one arm, a drooping face. Learn the signs at wakemed.org/stroke, because every second counts.
Step between the lines when you download the High School OT mobile app presented by State Employees Credit Union. It's easier than ever to find the coverage you want for the sports and schools you cheer for the loudest. Receive up-to-minute alerts, scores, videos, insider content, and the latest high school sports news across the state of North Carolina. Available now on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the High School OT mobile app presented by State Employees Credit Union.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. My favorite place to go in the Triangle for the best wings on the planet. How about this special? Every Monday, half-priced wings all day. Dine-in only. Now that's a deal, baby. Everything on the menu is amazing. Pizza, apps, and always great drink specials. Visit any of their 5 Triangle locations and their pet-friendly patio, too. Online, buffbrothers.com. Aw, man! Now I want wings!
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Richie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Richie Law is on top of it. Go to richielaw.com.
That's richielaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
This is WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Finally some rain today. That's going to be moving out of here, especially after sunset tonight. It'll get a bit chilly with a hunter cold front. The lows dip into the upper 40s. Friday, mostly sunny and dry with highs in the lower 70s.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 313 points today, closing at 49,596.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Now 3 hours away from puck drop for the Carolina Hurricanes against the Flyers. And you can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. I'm going to continue reminding you of that. Before we do, though, it is time for the starting 5, and we always start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Charlotte Hornets.
The Charlotte Hornets have agreed and signed an extension with their head coach, Charles Lee. Details of Lee's deal are not known at the time, but he has signed an extension after the season. I think it's a really good move. Here's why. They improved a ton this year. And sometimes it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. When you have a young team and whatever voice they're hearing is working, you want to keep that in place until if or when it stops working. And especially you mix in the LaMelo Ball of it all, which is LaMelo, he's an interesting dude, right? He's an interesting basketball player. He takes threes off the wrong foot and things. And I think in some ways his personality is similar, where it's just kind of like if you vibe with him, you vibe with him. So they got a good version of LaMelo this year. They got a great version of Con Knipple this year. They improved 25 wins year over year. And on top of that, they started this year actually pretty darn bad. They got 10 games below 500 before kind of figuring it out and getting going in the right direction. I think Charles Lee earned it. I think that was not a very attractive job when he took it, and he deserves to see it out now that he has turned it into a very attractive job. So good business by the Charlotte Hornets. I mean,
25-game improvement. 25-win improvement.
Have we broken the record for like within a year saying like positive things about the Hornets?
I think we have.
Should have had the NBA Rookie of the Year. If they would have just had the voting when they were supposed to have the voting before the play-in games, which I think cost Con Knipple, they would have the Rookie of the Year. LaMelo Ball had one of, if not his best season. Brandon Miller is having some surgery. Looks like he's got something fixed with his shoulder this offseason, but good player. They didn't really have true NBA post players this year. If they go get some... like Moussa Diabate is a fan favorite, good dude, working hard, grimy glue guy.
Yeah, Ryan Kalkbrenner is a rookie second rounder.
If they go get like a true NBA center, I think this team could break what I believe is the NBA's longest playoff drought next year. And I'm talking about like skip the play-in games. You could be a 5 seed. You know what I mean? Just get right to the business of it. And Charles Lee he'll be the head coach. Only 41 years old also, so he can grow with this core. As long as you need him to. And he does draft a lot of Duke players, so perhaps there's a way they can gain more. Isaiah Evans, maybe? Who knows? That is number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Tugler in on Knipple, spins, goes up, got it blocked! Guess who? Cooper Flag threw it out of bounds!
Okay, so we knew as of yesterday, NCAA tournament's expanding, or as of, it's been known, 76 teams. Well, today on the NCAA media call with a bunch of insiders from across the sport, the national reporters, NCAA Senior VP Dan Gavitt informed that the first round, what do we call it? It used to be the first 4. Are we calling it like the first 12 now? Something like that?
I don't know.
The first 12 will be played with back-to-back nights of triple headers at 2 locations.
So it's not all in Dayton?
One will be Dayton.
Okay.
And here's the thing. Gavitt says the bid process for the second opening round site will begin as early as next week.
Okay.
And expects to have bids in for evaluation. The evaluation process will take place in June, and then a decision for the second opening round site in 2027 and 2028 will come in the summer. Where do you want the other one to be? There's Dayton.
Yeah.
And there's somewhere else. Should somewhere in North Carolina, could the Greensboro Coliseum?
I mean, if I'm Greensboro, I push for it as long as I get a guarantee of it every year.
You'd get it. It looks like they're deciding on 2027, 2028.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if I get a push for it every year, yes. I need
because I think you want to go somewhere, and Dayton is this way. I don't know if people know this about Dayton. Dayton is a college basketball town.
Oh, very much so.
So
they show out for that.
You need to go somewhere where there's enough just pure college basketball fans that even if the teams are from nowhere nearby, they're going to put together a pretty good atmosphere. And that's even if they're like fighting for a 16 seed, right? You might have the MEAC and the Big Sky conference champions, battling it out. You're going to need to put together something. And I do think, state of North Carolina loves college basketball, especially if you put something with stakes up there. Like you say, like this is for something.
I do know that this upcoming season, at least 2027, that Greensboro has the ACC tournament. Charlotte has first-round games this upcoming season. So I know Charlotte also has the ACC women's tournament, if I remember correctly, as well. So and then 2028, the actual Elite Eight Final Four are actually going to be, the Sweet 16 and Elite Eight, the East region is going to be held here in Raleigh at the Lenovo Center. But if Greensboro is able to push it where they can get guaranteed
triple headers both nights,
triple headers on both nights, I think Greensboro 100% would be in play for that.
Or is
that's a great spot.
Or is it better to go somewhere where it would be like the big fish of, like in Dayton, that's their thing. Like college basketball in North Carolina, the first 12 is not going to be a top 3 event in the state that year, right? Like it's going to be behind the Duke Carolina games. It's going to be behind certain state games. It's going to be behind ACC tournament, men's, women's. Like there's a lot of stuff going on there. Should they push for like Newark, New Jersey or something?
No, we don't want to go to Newark.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't think of Dayton as like they don't have a bunch of tourism brochures, I'm sure, for Dayton, Ohio.
But Greensboro shows out for the tournament, whether it's NCAA tournament, ACC tournament, they show out. That you got to give the Triad tons of credit.
I agree.
They are a tournament town.
I agree. I'm wondering if there's not some way, because I believe we are in the mecca of college basketball. I'm wondering if there's not some way we can get our hands on those first 12 just to make it palatable, right? If you're going to ruin the bracket in a lot of ways,
ruin it here.
At least make it so, at least give us the little concession. Give us a little silver lining that we get to catch some more basketball live.
I think if Greensboro is able to get it, if they're able to get it consistently year in and year out like Dayton does.
And they can brand it, and it can be.
Absolutely. And then I think that's a consistent thing that arena can always book. They can have that. And then that way you can still continue to use Charlotte for first and second round. You can continue to use Raleigh for first, second round, or this like we have in 2028, Sweet 16, Elite 8. Yes, absolutely.
And, like the off chance that State, who was in the first 4, or UNC, who was in the first 4 the year before, if they end up in Greensboro, suddenly you got a mania.
Yeah, you do.
Probably wouldn't be fair for whoever they're playing, but it would be a mania. That was number 4 of the starting 5. Let's get to number 3. Let's see who's winning the Truist Championship out there at Quail Hollow in Charlotte. One of the premier golf events in the state of North Carolina is going on as we speak. Sunjay M., the grinder, the player that has never seen a tournament that he does not want to go play in, multiple times I believe has led the tour in rounds played, because the guy he's willing to go anywhere and play. Through 9 holes, he has 6 under. He is alone in first. Matt McCarty and Christopher Raytan are in a tie for second. They are both still on the course on the back 9, 5 under par. It is interesting because there are quite a few big names in this tournament, and there are not many of the big names near the top of this leaderboard. Tommy Fleetwood is tied for 4th, but David Lipsky is who he's tied with. Corey Connors, Harris English, Nick Taylor, Harry Hall, Finau, Tony. These are all guys tied for 6th. So they're all partway through their first round. There was a rain delay earlier today, which changes the rhythm, but also changes just the way the course plays. So some of the weather we're dealing with here, I guess, is up there in Charlotte as well. And they have to deal with that. If you're asking where Rory McIlroy is, he was the betting favorite. He is even through 15 in a tie for 36th. Not where you would have expected Rory to be. If you want some of the local guys, Ben Griffin played his college golf at North Carolina. He is tied for 13th. Cameron Young might be the most on-fire golfer in the world, fresh off a win. He played his college golf at Wake Forest, he is tied for 13th as well through 10. Ryan Gerard, another Carolina golfer, Tar Heels, from his college time, he is 1 under through 11. So there's just a big mass of golfers. This is big money, by the way. $3.6 million to first. It is an elevated event. $20 million in total purse. Oh, Akshay Bhatia, Wake Forest resident. Are we also the golf capital of the world? Goodness, there's a ton of.
I would say yes.
Ton of guys are from the area are having a moment. Akshay Bhatia, who plays out of Wake Forest, not the college he is a resident of, he is tied for 6th, 3 under through 11. I don't know. Scotland's probably like, I don't know. What about us? But hey, a lot of good coming out of North Carolina, and a lot of golf left to play, as everyone should be reminded of nonstop when you start listing who's winning and who's not on Thursday. Rory McIlroy can make up 4 shots in a hurry. But that is going on, and that will continue to go on, obviously, through the weekend. Hopefully crown the winner on Sunday, unless there's some real crazy weather that comes through the area. That is number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
4th and 9 here for the Demon Deacons at their own 27. Snap back to Ashford. Blitzes on Kean Sloan. Breaks through and blasts him. There's a sack. Harsh and Sloan combine. And it shuts down Wake Forest. And a turnover on downs at 5:13 to play.
Wake Forest football is going to Canada. They are going to play a Week 0 game in Toronto to start the 2027 football season per a release from Wake. So they're playing Syracuse. It will count as one of Wake's home ACC games, and it'll be played on either August 28th or 29th and shown on either ABC or ESPN. This is interesting because, first of all, the ACC's adding the one extra conference game, right? So there's going to be 9 conference games for most teams, most years in the ACC, which might give them, one to kind of play around with because you still have the 8 that you've been banking on, but you can play around with the 1. It's a branding thing. Do you know what else it is? It's a money play. I assume you secure some kind of money for this, right? There's some kind of sell that you don't give up a home game for nothing, so you're getting some kind of cash for it. But also, remember this, the way the ACC has written their new media payouts, television ratings play into it, right? Branding, everything, like the buzz that comes with your team plays into how much media money you get. So I wouldn't be surprised if teams are much more like borderline fighting over any game that you can be what I consider a onesie or a oneer, which means the only football game going on. Remember when Carolina played Monday Night Football against TCU? When teams go to Ireland and play those games in Ireland in Week 0, if you can play on a Thursday, if you can play on a Friday, if you can play on an unusual day where you don't have to compete with every other college football game going on, or even better, if you don't have to compete with any other sporting event going on, your ratings are going to be higher. And then when those payouts happen, you're going to get more money. So Wake Forest being played on Week 0, ABC or ESPN, early Week 0. So it's when everybody is really thirsting for any kind of real football, right? There's going to be like NFL preseason going on. We'll be talking training camps and things like they're going to rate pretty well. And that matters now. That used to not be something you would schedule. Like you would hope to get big ratings, but really you were just, you got your media money the same as everybody else regardless. Now it becomes almost quintessential that you rig the system to make sure your television ratings are as high as they possibly can be. Heck, have like Taylor Swift play halftime. Does she do that? Probably not. Ask her. I mean, all she can say is no.
I'm sure you get a Canadian band. Nickelback.
Sure.
Get Avril Lavigne to play.
Alanis Morissette.
There you go.
Celine Dion.
She's great in concert, by the way.
Alanis Morissette is?
Oh, yeah. My fiance, I went and saw her when she came to Coastal Credit Union. I want to say it was 2024.
Jagged Little Pill put on a show?
Oh, it crushed it. It was awesome.
You know what's ironic?
A little too ironic?
There you go.
Don't you think?
What is it? What is it? It's
It is raining. My wedding day is 6 months from today, so.
I'm trying. Never mind. I can't think of the lyrics off the top of my head. All I wanted to do is say ironic and have my voice crack. All right, we'll move on. That was, by the way, good for Wake Forest. I like it. Jake Dickert seems to have things going in the right direction. Seems like a good CEO-style head coach. Like, he gets the big picture.
Do you think when they're recruiting guys out of the transfer portal, it'd be like, all right, one of the things that we need you to have is a passport because we got this international game coming up.
All right, we got most of the guys with passports. The rest are going to have to be in the equipment bus.
Can you filter through the transfer portal? Like, who has a passport?
Wow, I guess for that offseason, you just don't play that game. Is watch at home. Do you have jock tax? Do you have to pay some of their NIL, some of their rev share taxed by the Canadians?
I don't know.
Is it loonies into bloonies? Huh? They should do something with the Canes too. There's a bunch of Canadians. Wake Forest isn't quite the connection that some other schools have to the Canes, but it's
kids will be
North
celebrating
Carolina.
their second straight Stanley Cup, so yeah, it makes sense.
Wouldn't it be nice? That's number 2. Speaking of, let's get to number 1.
Go one! North Carolina, raise up, take your shirt off, twist it around your hand like a helicopter.
Canes game 3 versus Philly tonight, 8 p.m. So, about this song, I don't know if this is good parenting or not. We have a Spotify playlist that is like, it's my son's playlist. He's 5 years old. So, if we're doing chores or something, he'll be like, you put on my playlist, and it's all songs that he knows. It's got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song, Who Let the Dogs Out. It's got a bunch of stuff that he's just heard, and he's like, I love that song. After going to a bunch of Canes games this year, guess what? We've got PD Pablo raise up on his playlist, and it's the edited version, obviously, but it brings the energy, right? If we're like wrapping up dinner, everybody's putting away their plates and everything. Oh, play a playlist. If Raise Up comes on, oh yeah, we're having a good time. So even my son, who's 5 years old, and his favorite player is Sebastian Aho, but he pronounces it differently every time because Sebastian's kind of hard for him to say. He's lost his 2 front teeth. The energy is rising. Postseason hockey. Everybody has caught the fever. Game 3, Canes lead the series 2-0 tonight at 8 p.m. 7 o'clock Storm Watch with Adam Gold. He'll get you ready, and then the game will go from there. Dennis, I'm going to put you on the spot. As I've been doing all season, it doesn't change in the postseason. Game tonight against Philly. Alexander Nikishin was skating with Shane Gostisbehere in morning skate, so you'd expect him to draw into the lineup, which means Mike Riley will go back to being a healthy extra. Owen Tippett for Philly, expected to be out for the remainder of the second round. That's kind of the way it stands right now. So I give you an if-then statement. If blank happens, then the Canes win, and they take a commanding 3-0 lead in the series against Philly.
I think if Svech or Aho scores.
Either one
of those guys scores, they win the night.
So we did first goal score predictions earlier, and surveying the responses, right? Who do you think? By the way, you can still make your predictions in our YouTube live stream comments. Jump in the live chat there. Tell us who you think will score the first goal for the Canes and in what period you think they will score it. The reason why I brought up those first goal score predictions is I think a lot of us use it to maybe not predict who we think is going to score, but we try to put the energy into the world for who we hope scores or how we hope they score. There's a ton of Aho predictions. I would say second most is probably Svech, but the amount that are combos of those two are also overwhelming, right? It's Aho on a feed from Svech. It's Svech set up by Aho. It's Aho on the power play. Svech, drew the penalty, whatever it is. Like, all of this is combined. I think there is everybody's fighting off the concern if there's a concern because they know they shouldn't be, right? You're 6-0 in the postseason. You're 2-0 against Philly. You've been winning even without your top guys scoring a bunch of goals. So you're not allowing yourself to be concerned. But it's one of those deals where, like, if one of those guys scores, if both of them scores, if that line gets rolling, you're going to, like, exhale as if you were concerned, even though you tried to hide it. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, were you worried? Yeah. Like, I would never say it out loud, but now that they're playing well, yeah, I was a little worried. I think we're right to not let ourselves vocalize that. Right? We all acknowledge if you're going to win a cup, you're going to need Aho, Svech, Jarvis, Ehlers. You're going to need your top paid guys to play well. So I'm not saying, like, don't focus on them, but I think we're right to say they'll figure it out. Like, trust them. We've seen these guys play a lot of hockey, and way more often than not, they figure it out. You know what I mean? There hasn't been a moment where they completely forgot how to play hockey. So just – if everybody else can carry him for a little bit, if the Stankoven line can carry the scoring for a little bit, if the blue line and Freddie are doing a really good job preventing goals, they're buying them time. Give them time. We'll be all right.
Let's not forget that last season, the 3 highest scorers for the Carolina Hurricanes in terms of goals were Svech, Jarvis, Aho.
And
like, these guys know how to do it in the postseason.
And for Svech, it was after a regular season that wasn't nearly as good as this year.
Oh, not even close.
So there's they'll be all right. They'll be all right. Give them time. And thank the rest of the team for making it so they can have a little bit of a scoring lull, and it doesn't make it like insurmountable to overcome. I think the stat is they have one game this postseason where they've scored more than 2 non-empty netter regulation goals.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling, and who knows, maybe I'll predict this. I have a feeling they're due for like a 5-goal game.
Yeah.
Like 4 goals in regulation, non-empty netter, and an empty netter. Like, eventually it's going to happen because they're too darn good not to. They set the record for most goals scored in franchise history this season. Like, they have too many goal scorers that are doing too many good things and are too talented to just think like they're never going to score more than a goal or 2 in regulation. Like, it's maybe I'm crazy. Maybe this will come back to bite me, but I think they're, it's not something that's going to go on forever. Speaking of that, you said Aho or Svech need to score tonight. Why is that so important when they're 6-0 without those guys scoring a ton? And if you take away Aho's empty netters, even less.
Believe it or not, you're going to have to alleviate some pressure that's on the Stankoven line. Because
at some point you will.
If the Aho line, if that top line isn't scoring on at least consistently generating scoring chances, then guess what? If I'm Philadelphia, I'm going to try and do everything I can to slow down Stankoven, Hall, and Blake. And someone needs to pick up the slack for those guys because they're not going to score. Well, it's hard to say they're not going to score every game because at least one of those 3 guys has scored in every game so far this postseason. But you can't expect just one line to carry the load for you every single night. Your top guys have to be top guys. It's May. It's time for top guys to be top guys.
Do you think Philly, especially if they're down a goal or 2 when you're getting towards the end of the second period, muddies it up a bit? How do you see the Canes? They dealt with it really, really well against Ottawa, but that doesn't mean they didn't get dragged into that a little bit.
If they're up by a couple and Philly tries to muddy it up, Canes win easily.
Yeah,
because that means Philly's focus is on not winning. They're just trying to muddy things up. Don't take the bait. Let them go to the penalty box and you go on the power play.
As I like to say, fight nonsense with goals.
Yeah.
Which I think everybody would like to think they would in that moment, but occasionally, Jackson Blake, you got to turn around and just slash the heck out of the guy.
Yeah.
They mix it up a bit. As I said earlier, Alexander Nikishin is expected to play after yesterday at practice. Mike Riley was skating with Shane Gostisbehere this morning at morning skate. Nikishin was skating with Shane Gostisbehere, which is what we've gotten used to all season long or throughout the season, and including the first round against Ottawa, which it's just nice to see for Nikishin to be back out there playing again after missing a couple games in the postseason. That's not fun for a competitor like Nikishin. And matter of fact, speaking of Nikishin, we have some audio here from Rod Brindamore on what Nikishin can bring to the lineup if he's drawn back in.
Well, we hope that he can go tonight. Not 100% yet, but he's big and strong and can move the puck and shoot. And we need to all the attributes that he brings, like we need of everyone, but that's what he does do, and he can play physical. And we need if he's in the lineup, that's what he needs to bring.
He's a good player. And we haven't even talked much about this, so I'll bring it up quickly here because I want to get to the numbers game. The official numbers for next year's salary cap came out. The Canes are going to have a good amount of money to spend this offseason, especially if they can find a taker for Jesperi Kotkaniemi's contract or somehow can mitigate that cap hit. Alexander Nikishin, the fourth-line center, is that it? Is that all that they're looking to spend on?
That's really it, yeah.
And you're talking $14+ million remaining, and could be more depending on the moves they make. Nikishin might be a very rich man pretty darn soon.
Very well could be. If you want to make a run at a goaltender, go for it.
Want to make a run? That's another option. Options are good, especially when you're at this point in the postseason and you have one of the deeper lineups in the postseason, and you're looking at still having a good amount of cap space. That's good roster management. With that being said, I said I wanted to get through that quickly because I wanted numbers game contestants, and I do. Who's going to set the tone? Who's going to come in here and win some Godsmack tickets at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on May 16th? We need 2 contestants to play the numbers game. The winner gets the tickets. Call in now if you want to play. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. 2 contestants will have a chance to play the numbers game, win some Godsmack tickets. One more time, the number, 919-860-5326. Numbers game next.
It's Hockey Night in Carolina Playoff Edition. It's Game 3 with Philadelphia.
Anderson got a glove to it. Still losing Frederick Anderson. Oh, what an athletic save.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck Drop at 8.
They score! They score! It's over! Carolina, Taylor Hall wins it in overtime!
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. We know there's a lot of breakfast sandwiches out there, but only Bojangles has the legendary Cajun Filet Biscuit. Shake things up with a boldly seasoned chicken breast on a fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit with bow rounds and your choice of drink. So when you're craving something bold, something different, something that takes breakfast to a whole new level, the Cajun Filet Biscuit is waiting for you, along with crispy bow rounds and a drink. Order in the app or at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuits are served all day, every day. And with that biscuit, why not add Bo's Iced Coffee? That's right, Bo's Iced Coffee with sweet cream. Choose caramel or French vanilla. Bo's new Iced Coffee, a great way to sweeten your day. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Life's great stories are built on yes and. Yes to the big game and the private suite. Yes to the beach and sailing offshore. Yes to traveling the country and exploring new ones. With the new Millionaire for Life from the North Carolina Education Lottery, you can say yes to $1 million now and every year for a lifetime. Millionaire for Life. Winning is just the beginning. Drawing 7 days a week. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.47. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier factory authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. Prize for today, tickets to see Godsmack when they come through the area. I'll give you the details here. Coastal Credit Union Music Park on May 16th. The contestants, Chris in Raleigh and Jack in Raleigh. We'll bring them each onto the show. We'll ask them each the same question. Dennis will pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. We'll go from there. Chris in Raleigh, you're up first. Can you hear me?
Hey, yes, sir.
All right, so we were just talking about it not long ago. The NCAA tournament, men's basketball, women's basketball have expanded. They're looking for a partner for Dayton for those first games. So Dayton, Ohio is going to have half of them, and somewhere else is going to have half of them. To eliminate local bias, it can't be in the state of North Carolina. What city are you having host the first 6 of the first 12 games in the NCAA tournament?
Savannah.
All right, Savannah, Georgia. Dennis, any follow-ups?
No questions.
All right, we move to Jack in Raleigh. Jack, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, same question to you. Dayton is looking for a partner. They have 6 of the first 12 games under the new format of the NCAA tournament. Somebody else is going to have 6 of the 12 games. To eliminate local bias, we are outlawing the state of North Carolina. So anywhere else, what city are you putting the first games of the tourney?
Tampa, Florida.
All right, Tampa, Florida. Dennis, any follow-ups?
None.
All right, you have to choose between Savannah, Georgia, and Tampa, Florida for the Dayton's partner in the first 12 games.
This is actually a pretty interesting one. Like both, coastal.
I think they're both like way more logical. I think usually when we ask these questions, we get like Paris, France. Like they're like, no, these places you can get to. There's going to be a lot of hotels and things. Like it's very logical.
I think Savannah actually. Let's go Savannah. I think Savannah would be an interesting because you never hear Savannah as like a spot, like a destination place for college sports the same way you thought about Dayton initially, but Dayton's turned out to be pretty awesome, so yeah, why not Savannah?
All right, Chris and Raleigh will go first. Jack and Raleigh will have his chance, just has to sit on hold for a minute or two. Chris and Raleigh, are you ready to pick a category?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, the categories are NFL players, Carolina Panthers only, MLB players that have won a batting title since 2006, NBA players whose teams are still alive in the playoffs, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Let's go NFL.
NFL Panthers only is the category. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope. Let's do it.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Tedero McMillan, Carolina Panthers.
11.
Incorrect. Jeff Ota, Carolina Panthers.
24.
Incorrect. Tedero McMillan, Carolina Panthers.
8.
Incorrect. Jeff Ota, Carolina Panthers.
18.
Incorrect. Tedero McMillan, Carolina Panthers.
12.
Incorrect. Jeff Ota, Carolina Panthers.
Oh man!
As soon as you didn't know T-Mac, you could tell it was downhill from there.
Amen.
When I say it, I think you're going to go, "Oh, he wears number 4."
Oh my!
Yeah, that's what I was guessing. And Jeff Ota, 79. You weren't as close on that one.
No.
Luckily, by way of Savannah, Georgia, you still have a chance because whoever goes first will get to go. Will get to win in the event of a tie. So Chris and Raleigh goes over. Jack and Raleigh, though, can save.
You have got to be kidding me.
Jack and Raleigh can save the session. Jack, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are MLB players that have won the batting title since 2006, NBA players whose teams are still alive in the postseason, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Hurricanes only, please.
Okay. Very polite. I like that. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Do you have any questions before we get started?
I do not.
All right. You need at least 1 for the win, and your time will start when you hear the horn. Andrei Svechnikov, Carolina Hurricanes.
37.
Correct. Mike Riley, Carolina Hurricanes.
6.
Correct. Bates Battaglia, Carolina Hurricanes.
44.
Incorrect. Brett Pesci, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Correct. Brendan Woods, Carolina Hurricanes.
Yep.
Bates Battaglia, Carolina Hurricanes.
27.
Incorrect. Brendan Woods, Carolina Hurricanes.
14.
Incorrect. Bates Battaglia, Carolina Hurricanes.
13.
Correct. 4 out of 5 is I would say you saved the session. Congratulations, Jack. You not only saved the session, but you won yourself some Godsmack tickets. So congrats on a couple fronts.
Thank you.
Go ahead and by the way, I forget which one he missed. Oh, he missed Brendan Woods, right? 56 is what we were looking for there. For Bates Battaglia, we also would have accepted 33 in addition to 13. And Brett Pesci, we would have accepted 54 in addition to 22. But all that's just for those playing at home. Jack, you gave us plenty. You are the winner. Stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize. I think we did have to dump during the first contestant there. It was close. He may have said one of those words we can't say on radio in frustration. I don't think he intended to, but it sounded a bit like it. So if you did, if you missed it, if that dropped out a little bit, it was just us going back and forth between Tedero McMillan and Jeff Oda, and he didn't get any of them right, which is how you end up with a 0. 4 for Tedero McMillan, and Oda was 79. I don't know what was dropped and what wasn't, but again, it's a good reminder to everybody. Whether it's intentional or not, it can be a very frustrating game, the numbers game. It flat out can be a very frustrating game. And if you say a few of those words, then we're going to have to dump out of there, and then it becomes difficult for everybody to follow along with what we're doing because they don't hear it. So it's easier if you just work on like your, we'll call them like Phillip Rivers or Roy Williams swear words. Right, your dadgummits, your golly darns, because those, of course, you're allowed to say those as many times as you want on radio. You just can't say those other words. So keep that in mind. But shout out to Jack. That was a nice showing, and he was one away from a perfect score. Perfect scores come in bunches, similar to goals in the NHL. Right, they come in bunches. You go on these streaks, these droughts, and then eventually you'll get like 3 or 4 in a week. So. 4 out of 5 is a solid showing on a Thursday. Speaking of NHL, speaking of Thursday, tonight, Game 3 between the Canes and the Flyers. It is a real opportunity for the Canes to take a commanding lead. Whether they win or lose, Game 4 will be Saturday at 6 p.m. It's also in Philly, next 2 games on the road. If necessary, Monday will be a home game for the Canes. Time still to be determined. So if you're looking ahead, you're planning your schedule. Tonight, 8 o'clock, Game 3. Saturday, 6 o'clock, Game 4. Those are both on the road. You can hear them both right here on 99.9 The Fan. You can hear them all right here on 99.9 The Fan. And then Monday would be the next home game for the Canes if the Philly series is still going on, which would mean they lose Game 3 or Game 4 or both. We have no clue when that next series is going to play, okay? And part of the reason being is they play, the winner of Flyers-Canes plays the winner of Buffalo-Montreal. That series just got started, and that's a 1-0 lead for Buffalo. So, I mean, they're a ways behind. If that one goes 6 or 7 games, the Canes could have a very, very long break. So just if you're looking to plan ahead, I get it. I know you want to plan ahead. It makes sense. There are planners out there. I'm more a live-in-the-moment guy. But, hey, if you're a long-term planner, I wish I could help you more. The only information I can give you is tonight at 8, Saturday at 6, and then if a Game 5 is necessary, it'll be Monday. We don't know the time. And if you're already on to the next series, it'll just be a long way into the future. I can't give you any more than that.
I think we're going 5. I said it before the series, Canes in 5.
Which would be Canes finishing it on Monday.
By the way, I think that's the only game that's on Monday in the NHL, at least scheduled as of right now, is the Carolina Hurricanes and Philadelphia Flyers. So my guess, what the NHL likes to do in these situations is they like to put them at the true primetime slot of 8 o'clock. Like tonight, it's the only hockey game. It's at 8 o'clock.
Canes have had a bunch of winners. Their Saturday was the only game of the night. Tonight's the only game of the night. If they play on Monday, they have Monday would be time to be determined. Philly and Carolina and Colorado, Minnesota also on Monday.
Okay. Is that a Game 5 for them or is that a Game 4?
It's 2-0 right now. They also play on Saturday, so I believe that would be a game. 4.
Game 4? Okay.
But don't quote me on any of that. That's
Yeah,
all just
game
off
4.
ESPN's.
So if that's the case, then they would play probably a 7 o'clock game. And then 9:30 out there in Minnesota.
That would make sense. Either way, maybe we don't even need to have this conversation.
You know, who cares?
Just go
right?
finish it in 2. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Finish it in 2. I like this. All right.
I meant finish it with the next 2
Yeah, I know.
games. Not, you can't win a series in the first 2 games. But the next 2. I meant win your next 2 is what I meant.
I forget who it was I saw tweeted out in the first period of the game. In game 1, I guess Canes in 1.
Canes in 1.
Canes in 1. They're so dominant.
So actually, you know what? I use the cliche from golf, right? You can't win it on Thursday, but you can lose it on Thursday.
Yeah.
I do think there are series where you look back and you're like, oh, they won that thing in game 1. I don't think this is it because Philly fought back in a good way in game 2. So this series is not over. But every once in a while, you see a team take the life out of their opponent in game 1. And it's just, yep, there it is. It was over. It was you point it to. Halfway through the third period, game 1, it was a wrap. They kind of won it in 1. That's not this case, though. Give the Flyers credit. They're going to scrap.
I thought the Canes won the series against Ottawa game 2, that double overtime game. It's because Ottawa had their best push. They had so many chances, and they couldn't capitalize, and then Carolina did. And I feel like the same thing happened with the Flyers.
When they took Jankowski's goal away, it felt to me like if the Canes win this, it's over. Because it would be like Ottawa was wobbly on their feet, right? And you needed to land the one more haymaker. And they did, and I believe that is when it was over. Not to say the games in Ottawa were easy by any stretch, but it just felt like there was no way they were going to win the series. I haven't had that feeling yet for Philly. But you're right. I do think that game 2 against Ottawa was a big one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We will make more picks. We will pick prop picks. We will do a whole bunch. But first, Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for Loan Pronto. Folks, credit card interest rates, they're now over 29%, and most people are only making the minimum payments. So they're getting nowhere. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or maybe get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved, and they saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone with zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long, drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows, so act now. Go to loanpronto.com, see how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Give them a call, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Make some picks for tonight's game coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
When you look at all the Stanley Cup favorites, Carolina's definitely one of them, and they have almost every element you need. They can score like crazy, and they do it with depth. They do it with speed. They're not just a dump-and-chase forechecking team like they've been in the past. They're as good off the rush as almost anybody in the league. The defense, pretty good since the Olympic break, but it'll get better. Can the goaltending hold up?
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Join us at Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, our biggest trade event of the year, May 14th through the 17th. Trade in your RV and get the highest value guaranteed. Then upgrade for less with new RVs starting as low as $94 a month. Plus, take 25% off select maintenance services. Save up to 40% on camp-ready must-haves. And enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Red, White, and New Trade Event at your local Camping World, May 14th through the 17th. We'll see you there.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really helped me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-505-1604. 800-505-1604. 800-505-1604.
With Bet365 Early Payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, we have, I know yesterday or the day before, whatever, we had some birthdays. There's a birthday today.
Oh, yeah?
Dave Canales.
Oh, let's go.
Head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Birthday today.
I feel great about playing football right now.
He does strike me as like, all right, you're a head football coach in the NFL, but it's your birthday. You can do anything you want. The day is yours. Well, let's get the fellas on the practice field early. Like let's go out there and run some 7-on-7. What can we do? Let's play some football. That's what I want to do on my birthday.
What do you want to do on your birthday? Watch film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I get a lift in first? Sure, it's your birthday. You can do whatever you want. Perfect. Lift, then out on the field for drills. Happy birthday to Dave Canales.
Does he even eat cake? Seems like a pretty fit man.
This is probably his slice of cake for the year.
It might be, actually.
He really looks forward to today. He gets to have a slice of cake. Happy birthday to him. And then, more kale or something. I don't know.
More kale.
I don't know what healthy people eat. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy birthday.
Who doesn't love a good kale?
More kale when you're done with your cake. Happy birthday. And with that, there's a big hockey game tonight. There's some picks that need to be made.
Kale cake.
So let's go ahead and kale cake. He probably has a lot of that. Let's make some picks.
All right, tonight, let's actually, we're going to all Carolina Hurricanes focused here, okay? So one of the guys that we are considering maybe possibly scoring the first goal tonight, that's Andrei Svechnikov.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure I get an accurate, latest update here on anytime goal scoring odds here, Tim. Do you take these odds for Andrei Svechnikov? Just got to wait for the app to actually fully upload here for me.
It's because they're updating so much because there are so many bets going on Andrei Svechnikov to score.
Anytime goal scorer plus 220.
The Canes are a really hard team to bet anytime goal scorers on because there's so many. I mean, we know this, right? There's 7 20 goal scorers this year?
Yeah, a lot of them.
And another one that was knocking on the door. Because of that, none of them really pay out that well for first goal scorers, but there is kind of a random element there. Svech tonight, I would like it with a little bit more of a payout. So, I mean, I will not be putting my own money on that as a bet, but the flip side of the coin is you don't really look foolish for betting on darn near anyone on the Canes to score. So if you're just looking for fun coupons, you want someone to go out there and root for as entertainment, Svech is as good as any.
All right, let's go over-under total shots here in the game. Over-under set at 3.5.
For Svech?
For Svech.
Oh, over. And this is part of me willing it into existence. I still want aggressive Svech. I still want greedy Svech. And I think that line plays best when he is firing away. So, yeah, give me the over there, and I will root for it, and I will enjoy my time watching the game.
Okay, over under 3.5 shots on goal for Logan Stankoven.
You know what?
I think he had 4 last game.
I was going to say, let's have a conversation about Stankoven.
Mm-hmm.
He starts off with 6 goals in 5 games. He does not score in the 6th game of the postseason. Do you think he presses a little today because he wants to get back on that? I mean, it had to be so much fun the first 5 games for him. He was not only scoring goals, he was scoring them early in games to the point where it was just like, it's like winning a slot, like 4 straight pulls. They're just like, put a coin in, win, put a coin in, win. It's just so much fun. And then you end up giving all of that money back the rest of the weekend because you're like, it was so much fun. I just want to win again. Like, do you think he presses a little now because he's going into a game for the first time this postseason, having not scored the day before?
I don't think so, because I still think he had a really strong game. Like that line was still creating a ton of chances. I thought Vladar just played really well.
So I think that if he plays the exact same game we've been seeing him play, I'm taking the over because he has been very willing to shoot, and he should be, right? He's finding the net enough that he should be. So give me the over.
All right, let's actually go to Sebastian Aho. Aho, over under shots on goal, 2.5.
It's a good number. I think it's a Jarvis Svech game. So I'll take the under. I think he gets 2. Might score a goal on one of those 2. But I think it's a Jarvis Svech game for that line. So they'll be the ones doing the bulk of the shooting. I do have Aho in the first as my first goal scorer, though. So maybe first shot attempt.
Okay, let's actually go, speaking of shots on goal, let's actually go early in this one. Over under number of shots on goal in the first period for Nikolai Ehlers, 1.5. Just first period.
Yeah, I'm probably taking the under there. I think Philly is going to come out of the gates very enthused, right? They're at home. They're down 0-2. They probably think they got one stolen from them in game 2. I think they're going to come out of the gates firing, and not to say that's going to like knock Carolina on their heels, but it's going to be, I think, a more difficult first period, and then I do think they'll win. We'll get to that later, but I think they'll win it later on. So give me Ehlers under 1.5 in the first.
All right, let's go block shots. Over under 1.5 block shots for Jacob Slavin. Over is a plus 105, by the way.
Over.
Okay.
Over again for the same reason. I think Philly is going to be aggressive. They're going to be enthusiastic. They're going to be letting it fly. And Jacob Slavin he's Jacob Slavin, right? He'll be in position, and he has shown a willingness to block shots quite a bit. So give me the over on that one.
Sean Walker, over under 1.5. Over plus 114.
I will bounce this one off me and back to you since Sean Walker's your guy.
Oh, taking the over. Give me the over on Sean Walker.
Is there any number, any stat that you would take the under on Sean Walker?
None.
Penalties.
3 goals, over. Give me.
I meant like any set line, like you know. I just seems like you're always high on Sean Walker
Because I think he's playing great.
He's
playing great.
Yes, we probably don't talk about him enough just because Keandre's doing really well. And Slavin's doing really well, and Ghost has and Nikishin have the power play responsibilities, and there's so much. But Sean Walker is playing very well as well, and we probably should mention it more.
All right, next one here. Let's actually go to the goaltenders. Over under number of saves for Freddie Anderson tonight, 21.5.
I'm pretty pot committed to this whole Philly's going to be aggressive and enthusiastic thing here. I think there'll be a good amount of block shots, but I think they'll get over. It's 21.5. I think they'll get over 21.5. And I think he'll stop over 21.5, which is what they're actually asking. So I think Freddie's in for it.
Over under 26.5 saves for Dan Vladar, the goalie for the Philadelphia Flyers. 26.5. Again, that's total saves.
Saves, right?
Not shots on goal. We're talking saves here.
I guess it depends how aggressive. I've got some unders there on shots on goal already so I guess I'll take the under. I guess and hopefully because, I said this earlier, the Canes haven't really had a game where I don't want to say they've gotten lucky, but they haven't really had a game where, the puck bounces their way and they score more than they should. So maybe tonight, 26.5 saves and 4 goals. You know what I mean? That's the kind of thing that I'm thinking of. So give me the under.
All right, let me go to one final one here. Over under game total, just total goals scored in this game. Over under 5.5. The over, I think, is, let me check, it's a plus
I
120.
Really want to say the over, but I think the smart money's on the under. That's actually surprising. Does Vegas know something we don't? Are they trying to lull us to picking the under there?
I mean, Canes have been consistently on the under.
That's what I mean. Are they like? Feels like that number might. I'm taking the over.
Taking the over.
That line, it smells just funny enough for me that I think Vegas is trying to dupe me. So they don't know that I know they know that that they're trying to dupe me. I'm taking the over against my better judgment. Dennis, quickly, final score prediction.
I said it earlier that the Flyers win this one 3-2. I'm going to stick with that.
I think the Canes win. I think it's 4-2. 4-2 and potentially an empty netter for 5.
Okay, all right. So you're hammer the over.
I don't feel good about it, but yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, right here. We'll be back tomorrow to break down the game, all of the reactions to it. Enjoy the game here on 99.9 The Fan at 8, Stormwatch at 7, Overdrive up next. Until tomorrow, everybody, have a great night, and go Canes!
Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
All of my life, all I heard from Mets fans were, oh, you Yankees fans, all you do is buy championships. If we had as much money as you, we'd have 27 just like you guys. The New York Mets have the highest cash payroll of any team in baseball. $360 million this year.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. My favorite place to go in the Triangle for the best wings on the planet. How about this special? Every Monday, half-priced wings all day. Dine-in only. Now that's a deal, baby. Everything on the menu is amazing. Pizza, apps, and always great drink specials. Visit any of their 5 Triangle locations and their pet-friendly patio, too. Online, buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Jungle Cashword Scratch-Offs and Digital Instance games are here.
2 ways to play.
Yeah. Play Scratch-Offs like you do.
Scratch it.
Play Digital Instance on your phone.
2 ways to win.
Right. 2 ways to find letters and complete words. 2 ways to win up to $150,000.
That's a lot of crackers.
Jungle Cashword from the North Carolina Education Lottery. 2 ways to play, 2 ways to win instantly. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.79 to 3.90. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, this is Luke with Newcomb & Company. We're a residential, commercial, plumbing, HVAC company who's been serving the community for over 70 years. Honesty is the biggest policy around here. You know, we take pride in everything we do, anything we touch. We're not one of those companies that come and throw it in and then you can't get a hold of them again. We're there with you hand in hand. Here at Newcomb & Company, what stands apart from other companies is we actually do more than just AC and heat pumps. We do boilers, geothermals, furnaces, radiant floor, anything that is odds and ends that nobody else can touch is what we thrive on. At Newcomb & Company, we do same-day service. That's also another thing that helps us stand apart from other places is we do same-day service because we have enough professionals to get out to these houses to solve what the problems are. And we're on 24/7 on emergency basis, weekends, nights, holidays, you name it, we're there.
Newcomb & Company, your Carrier factory authorized dealer. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, you know, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. You know? Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at richielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader. It's 6 o'clock. Time to shift into overdrive. All highlights, no filler. As we run it back from the drive with Tim Donnelly.
Carolina Hurricanes, Game 3 against Philly tonight. They lead the series 2-0. Thus far, they have followed a nearly identical script to their first series in the first round against Ottawa. Shutout victory Game 1, overtime victory Game 2. If you're wondering what Game 3 looked like in the Ottawa series, it was a hard-fought 2-1 win. Yeah. Hard-fought 2-1 win. I would sign up for it right now in Game 3. From a betting/gambling perspective, Carolina on the money line on the road is -166, which makes Philly a +140 home dog. And if you're going to give the goals, it's a -1.5 on the puck line for Carolina, +160. So there you go. And yes, the most likely anytime goal scorer for the Carolina Hurricanes, according to the odds, at +220, Logan Stankoven, who has 6 of them through the first 6 games of their run thus far. And maybe that will put Logan Stankoven in the running for most important. We've been doing this for the postseason games. Dennis and I each highlight 2 players that we think are most important for the Carolina Hurricanes going into each game. And for Game 3 on the road against Philly, we're going to do the exact same. Dennis, why don't you lead us off? Who is the first of your 2 most important players?
I'm actually going to go with Alexander Nikishin. I think he draws back in tonight.
Interesting.
Based off morning skate, he skated alongside Shea Gostisbehere. Assuming he's going to play tonight, I'm going to say Alexander Nikishin because I think him being back on the second power play unit, because I think he's a little bit more of a, you know what, I'm going to get the puck and shoot it type mentality, which I think that's what makes that second power play unit so much more effective at times, is the fact that they kind of meat and potatoes it a little bit, which I think in the playoffs sometimes is actually a good thing. Hey, get puck, get a lane, shoot it. Get the puck, move it, move your feet, get a good lane, shoot it. It's a little bit meat and potatoes, and that's okay. So I think there's an added element to that as well. But I also think not being able to control matchups as easily on the road, having his physical defensive presence out there alongside Shane Gostisbehere, you can be comfortable rolling out your third defensive pair, even in a defensive situation. Maybe it's like a defensive zone faceoff, and feel perfectly comfortable.
What does he do for Ghost? What does he do for Gostisbehere?
I think it just makes Ghost himself.
Okay.
That's really it. I think it makes Ghost himself. Those 2 are comfortable playing with each other.
Because I considered putting Gostisbehere in my 2 most important players because of not just what he does as a traditional blue liner, but also what he has on the power play.
Yeah.
So if Nikishin can unlock something about Gostisbehere or get him back in rhythm or whatever your partner does for you, I think that could be a huge impact of Nikishin as well.
As much as we have talked about the top guys need to get going, I'm going to throw Ghost into that mix. Now, granted, early on in the Ottawa series, it was him and Nikishin on the ice with the Stankoven line that generated a lot of scoring early, but he himself needs to be a little bit more effective on the power play as well.
My first of my 2 most important players, I considered Gostisbehere, didn't go that way. I'm putting Svech, Andrei Svechnikov. Got to get good Svech on the road. And he is somebody who I think has been doing a lot of good things, maybe not as many in Game 2 against Philly, but this postseason, I think he has been doing a lot of good things. It's just the other things aren't exactly flowing in, meaning goals, essentially. So I want good, disciplined Svech, but also perhaps, and this is where maybe I'm getting greedy, a little pesty. A little pesty Svech on the road in Philly, where you might be able to get Philly off their game a little bit, because he has that in his game when things are going well. He can rile you up a little bit and then go, make plays that only Svetch can make. So I'm putting Svetch as one of my most important players. As I said earlier, we asked for 2 most important players. Dennis, who's your next up?
I'm going with his line mate, Seth Jarvis. Can you build off the goal that you had there in the third period? Can you build off of it? He had a great assist in game 1 to Stankoven for Stankoven's second goal when it made it 3-0 back in game 1 of this series. And then he got the goal that tied it up in the third period. Can Seth Jarvis continue to build off of these first 2 games? I think that's going to be crucial for them.
Yeah, I used him as one of my keys to the so I'm diversifying my portfolio a bit, but I agree with everything you just said because that's basically the same logic I used earlier on. My most important player, I'm putting Taylor Hall.
All right.
Just he's playing really well, and when he's doing that, it's obviously helped them a bunch, right? Like I don't think it necessarily has to be when you're 6-0 in the postseason. I don't think it necessarily has to be someone who's not playing well. It's so important that they get going. It might be it's so important that the things that are working keep working. I think Taylor Hall is his renaissance or resurgent season where he's reminding a lot of people of what type of skill he has. I was surprised some of the GPS numbers being passed around. He's not like a big slow old guy. He's got some burst to him. He still has some of those quicks that you'd think of for a younger Taylor Hall. So if he plays well, I think that transitions to Blake Stankoven play well, transitions to whatever blue liners are out there with them. And as you said, a little bit less control over the matchup. So they might be targeted a bit more because of – actually, I could just read you the stats here. Walt Ruff put the stats out, but we've been talking about it for a while. In the 6 games played this postseason, Taylor Hall, Logan Stankoven, and Jackson Blake combined for 11 goals, 13 assists. That's obviously 24 points, and more impressively, plus 21. So keep doing that, I think, is really important.
That's good, right?
Yeah. Even if it's not that good, be 70% of that good, and you're going to really, really help your team out. So, pick whichever one you want to use to be a placeholder for that line. I think Taylor Hall is as good of a representative of that line as any, simply because he leads them in points. And he leads the Canes in points. So give me Taylor Hall as one of my most important. Those are our 2 most important. If you have some most important Canes that you think we're missing, you can go ahead and send them to us in our YouTube live stream comments, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Dennis, who are some honorable mentions? Who else did you consider?
I was thinking about a guy that you just mentioned, Andrei Svechnikov. And I want to ask you a question about Svetch.
Yep.
Do you feel like once he gets 1, the floodgates will open? Like if he scores 1 tonight, don't be shocked if he scores 2.
Okay.
Like that kind of deal. It's like the top's lifted off, he's full on go.
I think definitely a possibility. Mm-hmm. But I think more likely how it'll manifest itself is he gets 1 today and then he goes on like a streak of 4 games with 1.
Yeah.
Because it's one, and it's not only that. It's once he scores a goal, like the next shift usually has like 2 hits. Like it's everything builds off. He's very much a momentum player where you start screaming at your TV, why don't you do that every time? And then he does it every time for like a game and a half. And it's like that's the Svetch. So yes, I do very much think it's like a bubble about to burst, and it's the bubble. I fill up a lot of balloons, a lot of birthday parties for 5-year-olds and things. Mm-hmm. Like you get to that point where you're like, can this balloon get bigger? Mm-hmm. Like he's there now. Like it's full, and once it pops, it's gonna go. So I think you're exactly right, and it could be a streaky thing. Actually, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you think Ehlers has already popped the top, and he is entering because he scored the opener in game 2?
Yeah.
Could we be on? Like not even know it, but we're already in a hot streak for Nikolai Ehlers.
Yeah, like just scratching that. You know what? I wouldn't hate it. Because if he starts scoring, if that stall line starts scoring, good luck trying to stop this team.
This year,
for real.
He has very much been that. He'll go 8-10 games without a goal, then he'll have 4 in 3 games. He's very much been that this year, and I think that would go a long way towards ending this series quickly if you can get Nikolai Ehlers scoring a ton and some of these other guys don't cool off completely. So there you go. That's just some of the preview, just a little bit of the preview for Canes Game 3 tonight against Philly. They lead the series 2-0, and as everyone will say it, you know what they call a 3-0 lead. It's commanding. 3-0
It is
lead.
commanding. By the way, I'm going to put this on record since I won't be on the show tomorrow. I'm going to put this on record. I think the Canes lose one of these two on the road.
You're going
I'm
to
gonna
be
put it on
any
the
more
record.
specific?
What's that?
You're going to be any more specific? Are you calling for it tonight, Nell? Or are you just going to go one of two?
I'm going to say one of two.
Right.
I'm going to lean towards they lose tonight. I think Philly gets that little bit of extra juice of we got to have it. Playing at home, the fans are going to be excited because they know their Sixers stink. So they're going to get blown out by the Knicks. So you know what? They're going to put all their energy into tonight. And they're going to squeak out with a 1-goal win. The Canes should be like, oh, okay. All right, you guys want to play? Domination Game 4, domination Game 5.
All right, we'll see. It's on the record. That's
on the record.
Bookmark it.
Putting it out there right now.
3:56, May 7th, the day of Game 3. And before Game 3, which is always important on predictions. Coming up next here on Overdrive on 99.9 The Fan, we take a brief hiatus from the hockey talk to talk Panthers and get an insight into their draft. Stick around.
It's Hockey Night in Carolina Playoff Edition. It's Game 3 with Philadelphia.
Anderson got it clubbed to it. Still isn't Frederick Anderson. Oh, what an athletic save.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck Drop at 8.
They score! They score! It's over! Carolina, Taylor Hall wins it in overtime!
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
At Wake Orthopedics Urgent Care, we spend days, nights, and weekends in 3 convenient locations providing specialized care for kids and adults. Sprains and strains, shoulders and knees, fractures, hammies, and more. All that and all without an appointment. Walk in or limp in, either way you'll get the care you need whenever you need it. Visit us today at wakemed.org.
It's bow time. We know there's a lot of breakfast sandwiches out there, but only Bojangles has the legendary Cajun Filet Biscuit. Shake things up with a boldly seasoned chicken breast on a fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit with bow rounds and your choice of drink. So when you're craving something bold, something different, something that takes breakfast to a whole new level, the Cajun Filet Biscuit is waiting for you, along with crispy bow rounds and a drink. Order in the app or at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuits are served all day, every day. And with that biscuit, why not add Bo's Iced Coffee? That's right, Bo's Iced Coffee with sweet cream. Choose caramel or French vanilla. Bo's new Iced Coffee, a great way to sweeten your day. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsors Wake Orthopedics, First Carolina Bank, and Smith Douglas Homes. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
We put our lives on the line for our country. We braved the unknown. We did what we were told. And we lit up. Our cigarette packs were as valuable as the packs on our back, maybe more. At one point, cigarettes were part of our daily ration. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. And boy, we were smoking 'em. Bumming a smoke was the norm. It was an escape from the reality of dirt, sweat, and forgetting how many days you were so far from home. Never had to worry so long as you had a light, and the smoking lamp was lit. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now. Surviving lung cancer starts with a scan. Learn more at screenyourlungs.org. And thank you for your service. This PSA was made possible by industry funding and guidance from lung cancer patient groups.
Are they ready? Are you ready? Giving your child their first phone is an important and often difficult decision. After all, it is a milestone in your child's development. The Phone Ready quiz from the American Academy of Pediatrics can help make this decision easier. Go to healthychildren.org/phone ready quiz to take a short questionnaire developed by pediatricians that'll help you decide if you and your child are ready, almost ready, or not yet ready for their first phone. And get tips about how your child can develop a healthy relationship with technology. So, are they ready, almost ready, or not yet ready? What about you? Go to healthychildren.org/phone ready quiz today. Just 10 short questions can help you find out. That's healthychildren.org/phone ready quiz.
When it comes to mixing drugs, you may think you have a safe approach, but the bottom line is, mixing drugs is never safe. It can cause serious health problems like a heart attack or brain damage. Learn more at cdc.gov/stop-overdose.
When news breaks, don't wait. WRAL News Plus goes with you everywhere. Weather, traffic, and breaking news, live and local, all day, every day. Listen on 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and throughout the Triangle on 101.5 FM HD3. At home, in the car, at work, or on the go. Stay connected to the Triangle's most trusted newsroom anytime, anywhere. WRAL News Plus, coverage you can count on.
We're in overdrive on 99.9 The Fan. Today's key highlights and opinion from The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
I don't know when, but within the last, I'd say 5 years, NFL teams have gotten really cool about letting us see the inner workings of their draft process. It used to be you just heard a name on draft day and they'd have a press conference telling you how awesome that pick is and how it was their exact player that they wanted, and that's all you ever got. Now suddenly, like every draft room is rigged up like a reality television show. It's like the Real World. They got cameras from every angle. You hear every
Big
call. Yeah, exactly. One of those 24 hours a day reality shows. Every call. There were days back in there were drafts back in the day. I remember this happened with Willis McGahee, the running back out of Miami that had blown his knee out. But his agent, Rosenhaus, was sitting across the table from him and called him. So he would have to look at his phone, pick it up, and if he was on TV, other teams would think somebody was calling to try to draft him or try to talk to him. Nowadays, it's not if he picks up his phone, they just switch on all the boardrooms across the league and go, no team is calling him. We have eyes on Jerry Jones. We have eyes on Dan Morgan. It's not him. But I appreciate it, and it does give us insight into how each team operates. And there's an article on Panthers.com, so it's straight from the source. Darren Gant wrote it, all about the Carolina Panthers draft process and what they do on game day. What they do on draft day, I should say, not game day. All the way down to Dan Morgan walked in after his, traditional and routine 9 holes of golf on the first day of the draft. Didn't play well until the last hole. They gave us every single detail. And with everything I just said, as much as things change, they still stay the same. Because the Panthers, even with giving us more access, they are pretty darn good at selling us that the best case scenario just happened and the players they drafted, they don't even say these were the players we were hoping to get. They lead with, we didn't think there was a chance that these 2 players would still be there when we drafted. I remember getting on a nearly word-for-word response to their 2nd and 3rd round picks last year. Nick Scorton and Princely Umanmielen, it was, we had done so many simulations, and in almost 0 of them were those guys available in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. We could not be more ecstatic. Well, let me read from part of this article from Panthers.com. As much time as they spent preparing, and as many times as they worked through the hundreds of possibilities of what might happen in front of them, it rarely worked out as well as it did with their first 2 picks, which they used on an offensive tackle, Monroe Freeling, and defensive tackle, Lee Hunter. To get those 2 guys, that was a scenario almost too good to be true, and one they weren't counting on. I don't believe it. I think it's a good sales pitch. I think they I think they knew that those guys might be available. I don't know if they thought it was 100%, but I think that it was not like the most outlandish thing in the world, but it's more fun to say. This is so good, it's outlandish. So that will never change, right? No matter how much access they give us, they're still, as they should after a draft, they're still going to try to sell us on the idea that, there's not a single player out there they'd rather have than the players they drafted. The more interesting parts of this article, and it is a long one, I think apply to their vice president of analytics, Eric Eager's secret sauce, as they call it. That's their quote, not mine. They put together a proprietary draft simulation program known to Dan Morgan as the app, it's a mock drafter. It's a mock draft simulator. But apparently it's way better than all of those that are available to us online. It is a mock draft simulator put together by Eric Eager, who, by the way, I've interviewed Eric Eager back in the day. He was running, I think it was called Summer Sports, and he was making which was an analytics outside contractor for teams. And he was trying to get the word out at the Super Bowl one of the years I was there. And he and Thomas Dimitrov, the old Atlanta Falcons GM, were going around, and he came all cross, extremely intelligent. I spoke to him for 15 minutes. I left going, that guy is on another level than I am. So he's the one putting all this together. And again, I'll go to the article because, as it states, quote, to make a really complicated thing too simple, Eager takes all of the data on every prospect and puts it into a model. Stats, testing times, physical profile, all the stuff scouts are collecting throughout the year. He's then pairing it with their evaluations and external factors as deemed appropriate. Stuff like certain media mock drafts, prospect rankings, and such all go in the pot. He then forms a system that the front office can use to participate in mock drafts at any time. This article, granted, state-owned propaganda, right? It's on Panthers.com, so they're not going to say anything negative. But most it's a long article. When I was done, if there was one takeaway, it was these guys are a well-oiled machine of a front office, and they don't get rattled. Matter of fact, they stay recklessly calm during a draft, and they pointed a lot of that back towards this app, right? Because just like anything, the more reps you get, the more comfortable you are. The more practice you have, the better you are. It's why virtual reality is becoming a thing with real football, right? Where you can get your quarterback thousands of extra reps. That's going to make him more comfortable in games. So they have this app, and they're doing drafts constantly. They're inputting more and more information. They're throwing change-ups because Brant Tillis, Dan Morgan's right-hand man, keeps throwing in, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? So then on draft day, you're like, we've had all of these answers. We've done it all. There's nothing that can surprise us. So you just go through your, order of operations. Which leads to the little behind-the-scenes things that I think are cool. Things like the Lions picking a couple picks before them, needing an offensive tackle, and they're calling them up to see about trades, and Detroit's not really entertaining them, and they're just staying calm. And those types of things only happen if you know what you're going to do if they do entertain a trade. You know what you're going to do if they don't entertain a trade. You know what you're going to do if they trade to someone else. You know what you're going to do in every situation, and it felt like that is how they operated. Enter Dan Morgan. Here's a quote from the article. I felt calm about it. This is about their draft and their opening pick. I felt calm about it because there were other guys that if he did get taken, I knew that we could turn the card in and feel really good about it. There was always a backup plan if that scenario happened. So from my seat, I was pretty calm about it. The enemy of nerves is preparedness, right? The enemy of nerves is being 100% confident that you are exceptionally prepared for every situation. And they found a way to